Hammers this ball to center field straight away. Derek Robinson goes back. It's gone. Home run, Kristen Orphea, ball game.
High drama last night. Ninth inning walk-off home run, the first of his major league career as a pinch hitter, Kristen Orphea. And he's not through yet. He may have more in store for the Cincinnati Reds as we get set for Game 2 of this 3-game series. And we welcome you to Petco Park with Mark Sweeney, Dick Enberg. What a precious moment that was last night.
Yeah, just a moment that Kristen Orphea will never forget. And he had a smile on his face today in the locker room in a big win for the Padres.
Well, you talk about managers, and we are going to all throughout the game tonight. How about Bud Black? A premonition that the game might end that way, that Chapman would come in for the Reds in relief. And who should be ready? Kristen Orphea. He warned him before the game last night.
Yeah, you got Chapman. Hey, I remember the day. How about that double down the line?
And also reminding Denorfia that he did double off Chapman a year ago.
Yeah, all the success and you can put in their minds, and that's what Bud Black does. He's the communicator and he's the optimist.
We're talking about managers. Who is your favorite manager?
Tony La Russa for me. My first full year, he made it very difficult on rookies, but I loved that preparedness that he had.
Well, the players love Dusty and Buddy, Johnny Baker and Harry Black. They both have won World Series rings. Baker is 3 times a National League Manager of the Year, and of course with the Padres, Buddy Black won that honor in 2010. And like so many things, what goes around comes around in baseball. Buddy played for Dusty Baker in San Francisco.
Yeah, what a good feeling for Buddy Black to come in and understand that he's had a lot of influence in his managing career, and now he has to go full circle for a guy he played for.
Well, the manager's night, and sometimes managers don't act like grown men. Sometimes the little kid comes out, and we're going to share with you some of the blow-ups of manager's night when we come back. Days have been the most successful day of the week for the Padres. They're 9-6, and Tuesdays, of course, are also social media night. That means we get to welcome one of our Fox Sports San Diego stars on the team. Let's go to Megan O'Leary.
Hey, Jake, thanks so much. I'm out here at Park at the Park celebrating Social Media Tuesday with lots of different Padres fans. They're all here for Managers Night, and tonight it's going to be a really fun night on Twitter. We're asking you to participate by using the hashtag Managers Night for 3 different questions we'll be asking throughout the night. We're asking who's the best player who became a manager, who's the best manager in MLB history, and of course showing the Padres some love, what's your favorite Buddy Black moment? Remember, when you answer us, use the hashtag Managers Night. Your tweets may be featured on air. Dick, I'll see you later in the game.
All right, Megan, we'll look forward to that. We're set to go. The matchup of 2 men who traded uniforms from Cincinnati, where he was an all-star. Edinson Volquez goes for his 9th win. Matt Latos with electric stuff tries to win his 11th tonight for Cincinnati. The game with fire and fight, with guile and guidance, wisdom and wonder. Tonight we celebrate the skippers, from Casey to Buddy. And we're pleased you're with us on this very special night. We probably don't give enough attention to the strength and importance of the men that guide their Major League ball club. They are quickly fired when the team doesn't do well, and they're not complimented enough when the team plays well. And this man, Buddy Black, is certainly good. He has milked the most out of his talent since he has been the head man here. And he's got a winning record against Cincinnati.
Well, Dick, it's all about leadership, and I think Bud Black identifies this position, does a fabulous job here in San Diego.
And Dusty Baker over in the other dugout, number 16 all time with 1,640 wins. That's the second most of any active manager to Jim Leyland in Detroit. He has about 100 more wins than Dusty. And we're set to go. Let's take a look at the Reds starting lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Derek Robinson, the fleet-footed center fielder, leads it off. Shin Soo Choo. He's been a terrific addition to this lineup. Joey Votto, not many hitters better than Votto. Brandon Phillips having a big RBI season, hitting cleanup with 81 runs knocked in. Then their home run leader, Jay Bruce. Todd Frazier had a great rookie season, continues to play well here in his second year, has 10 homers. Zach Cozart at shortstop. He too a rookie last year. Devin Mesoraco, the catcher. They thought so much of Mesoraco that they allowed Yasmani Grandal to be included in that 4-for-1 swap a year ago. And Matt Latos, the feature performer for that trade made by the Reds and Padres, on the mound. Tonight's Padre defense brought to you by Aramco Group. Quentin Amarista will be in center field tonight with Venable in right. Forsythe replaces Chase Headley. Headley, the Iron Man, getting a night off and might even be rested tomorrow. We'll see. Cabrera and Jerko, the double play combination with Alonso at first base. Nick Hundley behind the plate for Volquez. Edinson Volquez, 2-0 in his 2 starts against his former teammate. He actually 1-0, but the Padres won both games in which he started against Cincinnati.
Well, for the right-hander, fastball command. We always talk about it for Edinson Volquez. He has to repeat his delivery, but also concentrate pitch by pitch. The concentration level, especially tonight against his former team, is going to be a key.
And again, just to remind you of the particulars in that trade a year ago, Josh Burns getting Edinson Volquez, Yonder Alonso, catcher Yasmani Grandal, and relief pitcher Brad Boxberger for Latos. And you have the feeling that both clubs, if they had a chance to make the trade again, would say yes.
Yes, they would. And in all trades, it takes time to judge what that trade's going to be. But it's all about the positioning of what your team is involved. The Reds needed an ace. Padres needed pieces. That's
Yonder
one
Alonso.
of the pieces right there. Excuse me, Dick. Just Yonder Alonso is maturing in this game.
And he's moving quickly up toward that 300 mark. He's the leading Padre hitter as we start tonight. Pushing 290. Robinson, there are his numbers at 270. You have to respect his speed. So at third base, Forsythe draws at the edge of the grass. Late on that swing, 0-2. 94 on that fastball.
Well, 94 with movement. Edinson Volquez has the stuff. There's Chase Headley getting a night off tonight.
Unfamiliar position for him to be on the pines at the start of a game.
Well, talking to Bud Black, he wanted to try to get one on the road, and it was very difficult. They had a successful road trip, and then getting a night off for Chase Headley, he deserves it.
Robinson, then Chu and Votto to bat for the Reds here in the first inning. Robinson, a 25-year-old from Gainesville, Florida. In high school, rated as the fastest baseball base runner in the nation. One hopper at Jerko, and there's one away. Shin Soo Chu, the 31-year-old South Korean, will step up as we introduce our umpires. The former Marine from Joliet, Illinois, Mark Carlson behind the plate with Davis, Tumpane, and Knight on the bases. Chu, acquired from the Indians in the offseason. That was the deal that sent Drew Stubbs and Didi Gregorius to Cleveland. Gregorius then was traded to Arizona. This man can hit. High fly ball, left field. Quentin eases toward the foul line. 2 away. Well, it'd be nice to see Edinson Volquez have a quick first inning, wouldn't it?
Being economical, you're right, Dick, and understanding that Edinson Volquez has to attack the zone with his fastball, establish that. Talked to Bud Black earlier today before the ball game, and it's all about Edinson pitch by pitch. We talked about it in the keys to the game. Edinson has to have that concentration level. If he does, he can be lights out.
Among the league leaders again in batting average, Votto, 321. Native of Toronto, Canada. He's 29 years of age. We were comparing his stance and approach to hitting with Tony Gwynn. Pretty high compliment last night, Mark.
Yeah, high compliment, but it's all about his vision and his consistency. I think he's getting to that point where he understands the strike zone. But when you look at consistent hitters, there's really always a thing that you always look at, the variable, and it's about that head position, keeping that still.
6 years now in the big leagues, plus this year, and hitting .316. And will walk more than any of the Cincinnati Reds. They pitch carefully to him, as you can well imagine. 2 balls and a strike. Joey Votto with Brandon Phillips hitting cleanup behind him. Votto with 16 home runs so far this year. 3-1.
Well, that was a take all the way. Joey Votto did not want to offer that. Reason for it, Edinson Volquez understands. He has a scouting report. He sat in the same dugout as he did. So that consistency is in Edinson Volquez's mind too.
And he walks him. The first base runner for Cincinnati is Votto, as he walks for the 77th time this year. He leads the National League in on-base percentage, his hitting plus the walks. He's the toughest. And then Brandon Phillips comes up with a man on base. The man preceding Votto, Shin Soo Choo, is second in on-base percentage. So you got 2 men that are seemingly living on base for Brandon Phillips.
Well, you see Brandon Phillips, 81 RBIs coming into this at bat.
That's a pretty good season for most second basemen.
Yes, it is.
Phillips, 7 years now in Cincinnati, averaging 21 homers a year. And in 7 years, in the key statistics for a second baseman, he's moved ahead of Joe Morgan in hits, in home runs, in RBIs.
Well, that's saying a lot. That's high praise when you talk about those names in baseball.
Breaking ball for a strike. The all-time RBI man for the Cincinnati Reds, the great all-star catcher Johnny Bench. But Phillips now is number 15 and needs just 3 to pass Adam Dunn on the Cincinnati all-time RBI list. Ooh, high fly ball. He just missed that one. Now coming back in to collect it is Quinton. No score for the Reds. Cabrera will lead off the first.
And play shortstop. Hopefully Cabby can get on and create a little havoc with Matt Psyche. Lexi's going to hit second and play center field. Same thing. Hope Lexi can get on. Batting third will be Carlos Quinton back in the lineup. Hopefully Carlos can hit one on the screws and knock in some runs. Maybe hit one to the Western Metal Supply Company building. Yonder Alonso, little success against Latos, 2 for 2 with a walk. Is going to hit fourth. Will Venable is going to hit fifth. Again, hopefully Will can get one in the seats for us against Matt. Batting sixth will be Jed Jerko back in the lineup. We need to get Jed going. Phil's been doing a lot of work with Jed the last couple of days. I think Jed's ready to break out. Logan Forsythe is going to hit seventh at third base. Going to give Chase a day off from starting, but Chase will be available later in the game to pinch hit and possibly help us win this game. Nick Hundley's going to catch and hit eighth. And tonight, Edinson Volquez going against his old team will pitch and hit ninth, and Volke has a home run this year. Let's see what happens. Go Pods.
That's the good tagline, brought to you by Toyota. The starting lineup for the Padres, as presented by the skipper, Bud Black. Cabrera starts it off here in the bottom of the first inning against Matt Latos. Well, Latos has really filled out since being traded by the Padres over to Cincinnati. He's now tips the Toledos at 244 pounds.
Yeah, and all of that. Big presence on the mound.
94 on his first fastball. That matched Edinson Volquez's first one.
You can see the corners in for Everett Cabrera. They're going to try to create some problems for Matt Latos tonight.
High on his first two deliveries. Amarista hit second, and then Carlos Quinton will be up here in the first inning. When Latos was with the Padres in 2010, he established a major league record. Remember, he went 15 consecutive starts and allowed 2 runs or less for pitching a minimum of 5 innings. No one had ever done that before.
Oh, Dick, the stuff's there. If you look at Matt Latos, very similar to Tyson Ross, that elevated release point. Very difficult from the hitters because they're not used to that release point. It's very different. It tends to get on you just a little bit more. That velocity tonight, 92, 93. He could pump it up there in the mid-90s as well, but different angle.
Line foul. He and Tyson Ross built in terms of height similarly, both at 6 feet 6 inches tall.
And not a long stride as well. That's what you're probably going to see the similarities. They like to stay tall, both of the pitchers. Work that downward plane.
Back with a 2-2-2 pitch, and just inside 95 with that one.
Let's take a look at our scouting report on Matt Latos. We're all about hitting in the strike zone, and that elevated fastball you got to get on top of. That's where you're going to hurt him. Then also work off his emotions. This is an emotional start for Matt Latos, coming back against his former club.
High fly ball hit well to right center field, but Bruce is there, and there's one away. Let's check the Reds defense behind Latos, brought to you by Hyundai. Chu in left, Robinson in center, and Bruce the right fielder. Frazier and Votto at the corners, Cozart and Phillips the double play combo with Mesoraco behind the plate. Alexi Amarista checks in tonight at 258. Surprising statistic for Amarista. He doesn't have a stolen base yet this year.
Yeah, that surprises me too.
Latos starts him with a breaking ball.
A fastball hitter in Alexi Amarista, fastball pitcher. You've seen that first pitch breaking ball. It's going to be a key for this individual matchup.
Up high with that fastball, 2-0. So he fell behind Cabrera 2-0, but got him to fly out. Now 2-0 to Alexi. Carlos Quinton waiting his turn just behind Amarista there on deck. Latos was quite a find for the Padres scouting team. They got him in the 11th round back in 2006. 2-2. Last year at Cincinnati, 14-4, 10-3 this year. So the Reds got what they wanted. A man that has a record in 2 years of 24 wins, only 7 losses.
We saw a great pitching performance by Mike Leake last night for the Cincinnati Reds. Big home run by Chris Denorfia eliminates his effort. See right there, Mike Leake. Impressive performance by him.
Now they're doing this without Johnny Cueto, who was the top of the rotation right-hander, and he's been on the DL. Pirates have lost 4 in a row, and they've been tough ones. They've lost 2-1, 4-1, 1-0, and 2-1, losing the last 2 on walk-off home runs. Another foul.
A good swing by Alexi on that breaking ball.
They lost the finale in Los Angeles in extra innings on the home run by Puig on Sunday. Then they come down here and have a 1-0 lead into the 9th, and Denorfia punishes them with that 2-run pinch homer.
What a swing, what a moment for Chris Denorfia last night. Beaming when I got into the locker room today.
I saw you talking to him. What did he say?
Well, he said it was the best moment he's ever had. And it was, you could see it, the emotion that he put into that at bat. What a huge lift for this club.
Slice to left center, and Chu is there for the putout. Well, here it is again, in case you weren't with us last night. Drilled to center field, looking fastball, got fastball, and sent it on a beautiful San Diego Padre ride.
There's Yonder Alonso right there. What a great at bat he had previously to put the team in a position to tie and go ahead. But Chris Denorfia, short stroke on a hard fastball, and that had the sound of a home run too, right off the bat.
And that special moment will go into his file. Someday he'll be sitting around the living room on a
What was your favorite home
night.
run, right?
Yeah, and kids gather around. Listen to this one. Mike Pomerantz and Mark Swinney going to call this one a highlight for me. Carlos Quinton.
Well, by then I think it's going to be hit it over the batter's eye. He's telling that story.
Pretty good jolt at 420 feet. That ball is hit well to left center field. That's got a big ride on it all the way to the wall, and run down by Robinson. Speedy center fielder able to chase down a bid for extra bases.
Park, top of the second inning on the way. And you ever wonder what Bud Black says to his players before the game starts? Well, we mic'd him up so you could find out in this behind-the-scenes look. Here's Bud in our Geico quote of the game.
All good? Yeah. Todo bien? Hey, cuidado. Short hop, Guzzi. Get back. Pick it. Nice. Oh, wait. Get back! Hey! That's what I'm talking about! Hey, save that for the Wago.
That's during batting practice and throwing some tough one-hoppers over to Guzman at first base. I mean, he's in constant motion, and I think every player is touched more than one time before they go into the clubhouse to get ready for the actual game.
Yeah, it's those individual communication and conversations that he has during batting practice to go a long way.
Line drive to left, and Quentin over to try to cut it off, and does, and will hold Bruce to a long single. Jay Bruce, their leading home run man, a line shot, base hit to left.
Well, take a look at this swing. This fastball out on the outer edge. Good location by Edison Volquez, and nice swing by Jay Bruce. Good job by Carlos Quentin getting in that gap and cutting this ball off. Keeping that double play in order.
Seems like Bruce has been around a long time. It's because he came up as a kid. He's only 26 and he already has 156 home runs.
Yeah, and it's a great place to hit, but still got to square it up, and he's producing.
High pop up behind home plate, and that's going to make it back over the screen. Todd Frazier, the hitter. Oh, Henry Ford, our chief executive.
Hey, what an athlete.
Fox Sports San Diego. He knows how to field his position. Well done.
Well, heads up, Henry. Oh,
one-handed. Cash took it right away from the Reds fan.
That is impressive. He's got to do an instructional for us, doesn't he?
That's right. The executive. Ground ball to third. And because the runner was going, no double play. That would have been a made-to-order double play off the bat of Frazier. But with Bruce running, he's able to make it to second base as we have a Fox Sports 1 game break. All right, the Dodgers had it early. They continue to play great ball. They've won 26 of their last 32.
And Yasiel Puig, you hear that name a lot, don't you?
They sure do.
What a difference maker he and Hanley Ramirez have been in that Dodger lineup.
And they collaborate on that first run tonight. And Arizona's already lost, so has San Francisco tonight. So Arizona at the moment is 3 back. Colorado was losing. Padres with a win could gain ground on Arizona, Colorado, and San Francisco tonight. Zach Cozart, the hitter. Well, Dusty Baker, who doesn't have his team run much. They're a power-built club, but by having Bruce in motion on that ball hit by Frazier, he stayed out of the double play. With one out, Bruce in scoring position, and the count to Cozart, 2 strikes. Shortstop Cabrera. He's only got one play right there, and they don't get him. But Cabrera saving a run by cutting off that ball headed for left field, and almost got Bruce advancing to third.
Well, take a look at this athletic play. First step, that's the only play he had. You're right, Dick. Taking that chance and that opportunity, but athletic play, throwing from his knee. Said it last night, Everett Cabrera continues to impress at shortstop. The consistency. Thinking before it's hit to you.
But it goes as an infield hit for Cozart. So first and third for the Reds here in the second inning. And the catcher, Devin Mesoraco steps up. Pitcher Latos on deck. The Reds in this modest losing streak, 4 games, have just not been able to come up with a hit with runners in scoring position. In the last 4 games, all losses, they're 1 for 23.
That's the difficult part. Talking to Dusty Baker yesterday. Early in the games, they've had opportunities that have just gone awry.
Volquez hopes to keep it that way. Strike.
A good pitch by Volke on the outside edge. He's got to try to drive this pitch down in the zone, try to deuce that ground ball for a double play. As you can see, Logan Forsythe, the ball's hit hard to him. He could still come home. Most likely, he's going to try to turn two.
Bruce at third, Cozart at first, 1 out. Fastball away.
You can see Mark Berry, the third base coach for Cincinnati Reds, going over and communicating to Jay Bruce at third.
You have the pitcher on deck, so it gives the Padres and Volquez some leeway, as there is one base open, second base. Latos occasionally will run into one, but he's 6 for 47 this year. Ground ball foul. And Volquez ahead on the count, 1-2. This would be a perfect spot for his first strikeout of the game. Well, we are pleased to have our first responders here with us tonight. San Diego County Sheriff's Department, well represented as well. Of course, on Tuesdays, the first responders get special prices on tickets here at Petco Park. Big pitcher, 1-2. Volquez ahead on the count. Outside target. Fouled.
A good change down in the zone. Good location. Good spot for a punch out. But you got to locate down. Deuce that double play. Last night, Sean O'Sullivan got a big double play by Logan Forsythe.
Cozart bluffed as if he was going. He has not stolen the base all year.
A tough position to steal a base here. You get thrown out. As Araujo possibly punches out, you don't want that pitcher leading off an inning.
He goes. High chopper. That's going to get the run home. It'd be tough to get a man. They go back at second. They get that man. That's how they get the out. So Forsythe realized he could not throw out Mesoraco, but Cozart a little too aggressive in turning at second, and they nail him for the second out as the run scores.
Well, ball off the plate, and right when that ball's hit, Logan Forsythe knows he's going to have a tough play at first. He fakes the throw and nabs Cozart. That's the awareness. Understanding what you're doing on the baseball field. Logan Forsythe doesn't get the reps at third, but that's his natural position. Nice play.
Credit Mesoraco with an infield hit and an RBI with a put on 5-4. So with 2 outs, Latos the hitter. 1-0 Reds. A couple of infield hits. Cozart and Mesoraco getting Cincinnati on the board first tonight. Fouled into the glove of Hundley, 1-1. Latos had a home run or two with the Padres. In fact, he has 3 career homers. One and two.
That'll be interesting, Dick, to see tonight how Edison Volquez and Nick Hundley mesh. Nick's only caught him 8 times, and most of the time it's been the beginning of the year. It's all about that chemistry between each other.
Osmani Grandal usually caught Volquez before the injury. Chopper to the right side, and Jerko throws out Latos. But 3 singles for the Reds, and they have the game's first run. Bud Black will join us from the dugout when we come back. collegiate pitching down the road at San Diego State. And then with Kansas City and 6 other major league teams, and was the pitching coach on the Angels staff of Mike Scioscia when they won the World Series in 2002, and then accepted the job as Bruce Bochy's replacement as the manager of the Padres in 2006, and in the process won a Manager of the Year award a couple seasons ago. But I know that you'll be first to step forward and credit all those managers, and you learned from each one of them in your own career. Who were they?
Well, Dick, you're right. I think all of us in this role have learned from those we played under, those we coached with. But going back, Dick Hauser was a big influence on my post-playing career. Roger Craig, Dusty Baker, John McNamara, and of course Mike. Working for Mike up in Anaheim. So. Those 5 guys really had a profound influence on me.
Your father was an outstanding athlete, hockey player. What leadership qualities did you borrow from him?
My dad, he was really competitive, Dick. I mean, that's one thing I remember. Growing up, he went to USC, and as you know, he played professional hockey, but he was an intense competitor, and I remember certain SC Notre Dame games, SC UCLA games, him getting really fired up when I was a young boy.
And I suppose as a young guy you were contentious enough to root for the other team.
Well, not really, Dick. No, I followed on the family bandwagon of fight on for old SC. But now, hey, listen, I've turned the page there. Now I'm an Aztec, and my sister went to Washington, my daughter went to Oregon State, my nieces went to San Diego State, so I'm all over the map.
Your daughter's at Maryland, University of Maryland.
Got a daughter at Maryland as well, yes.
Hey, buddy, when you're a player, there's a lot of time that you can reflect and think about what you're going to do after the game by playing it and pitching in the league for so long. When did you really want to be a manager in the big leagues?
Sweens, that happened as my coaching career unfolded in Anaheim. I'm not sure that way yet.
Leandro Alonso goes the other way. Sounds as if he fractured the bat, but he'll take that base knock.
I gotta give the hit sign here. Hang on, I gotta give the double in the gap sign here, guys. Never done this with headphones on. Sweens, it sort of unfolded after my first couple years in Anaheim when, talking to Mike and talking to Bill Stoneman and talking to, other people in the game, some executives, and they sort of, put the fire out there in front of me a little bit and sort of encouraged me to think about it. And as the years wore on in Anaheim, I started taking, some of these comments from a lot of baseball men to heart, and it sort of grew from there. But when I started, I started with Cleveland after my playing days. It was more about just learning, for the front office side, the field side, player development, scouting, and just
hard to talk and give signs too.
It's hard to, yeah. I'm pulling for Will here to hit one in the gap.
We'll give the gap sign.
Yeah, here it comes.
What did you give Denorfia last night? What sign did you give him?
That was on his own. That was he told me he was going to hit a homer. Hey, I'll take
that might be the double you're calling for. It's up against the boards. And Venables on his way for 2 with Alonso to third. How about that for live managing from Harry Bud Black?
How about that one? Now we need Jed to break out.
Well, 1-0 Reds lead, and the Padres challenge with a single double here in the second inning.
What a swing by Will Venable, pulling his hands inside and keeping this fair. And that lefty turns on that ball straight down the right field line. That's a pure swing by Will Venable.
Chad Churko in the throes of a tough slump since coming back from the DL. Did not start last night. And goes after a ball low. Strike one.
That's when we're working on lay it off. As you know, Swain, when you're in a little bit of a
Well, the game speeds. The game speeds up for you. But, buddy, you know the thing that I like in being in the locker room with around you guys, it's constant communication, especially in situations that Jed Jerko's in right now.
Yeah, he's working, you know, a great deal with, you know, with with Alonzo and Phil, and we're talking. You know, obviously they're teaching, and we're talking, and we're keeping him going, but. You know, he's going to break out of it here before too long. He's too good of a hitter.
Second and third, infield back.
Not a boy.
And when you're having trouble, this is a microcosm of the other at bats. You swing at a ball in the dirt, and then you take the ball in the strike zone for strike two.
Well, it's almost a situation where Jed Jerko takes a bad swing and gets a good result out of it. It just breaks the ice, and you know you got to battle that mechanics when you step in the batter's box and just trust what you've been working on, like Bud talks about. Phil Plantier, Alonzo Powell putting in the work.
And then goes after a ball outside, strike three. All right, skipper Logan Forsythe, second and third, with Nick Hundley on deck. What are you looking for here?
Looking for, you know, contact. He's the big part of the field here. We got to get that run in. Again, you know, look for a ball out over the plate. Don't try to do too much. You know, right now we're just looking for something hard to the big part of the field. That'll do.
Ground ball is short. No play at the plate. The throw across in time. The Padres tie it on a ground ball RBI off the bat of Logan Forsythe. Brings in Alonzo.
How are you?
Well, buddy, so many times we talk about this team battling. Last night goes unnoticed that Yonder Alonzo, the big at bat before Chris Tenorfias, and speak to the volume of how your team battles night in and night out.
Well, you know, we talk about that, just playing the entire game swings, 54 outs on both sides of the ball, whether it's defense. Hang on 1 second.
Kind of interrupting his managerial style. He's had a lot of things to think about and do, and now they're going to walk on Hundley and take their chances on Edinson Volquez with 2 out.
You know, going back to that question, I think, you know, that's something the guys talk about all the time, is just, you know, playing the game the right way, playing hard, playing for each other. You know, that's the thing that, you know, there's a great deal of unselfishness on this group, and it's really great to see every day. You know, they got each other's backs. They're good teammates. And again, I mean, you know, my coaches do a hell of a job each and every day. You know, pushing these guys and getting them better.
Volquez has 4 RBIs. 3 of them came on that home run. And he comes out swinging. And we'll let you go with a final comment here, Bud, along with your players pulling for each other and representing themselves. But I've also heard you, and I think fans need to know, it's also what's on that front of your uniform. They're playing for San Diego as well.
That's exactly right, Dick. I think that, you know, our guys, you know, really like, you know, playing here in San Diego for our fans. I think any player that's come through here in my tenure, and even players before, you know, really appreciate the organization, what the great people in this organization you know, have done and would currently do for our players, and you know, the players never take that for granted, and you know, our community is a big part of that as well.
Well, thanks for joining us here in the second. You got the run back. It's tied at 1. Bud Black has been with us here at Petco Park tonight as we celebrate Managers Night on Fox Sports San Diego.
welcome you back to San Diego. Top of the third inning on the way. And Bud Black played under Dusty Baker during his days. And Dusty Baker says he saw signs of greatness early.
He fit in with everybody on the team. Everybody liked Harry, but everybody respected him. And, you know, he had that mellow personality where, you know, didn't much shake him. And, yeah, I could picture him being a manager big time. And, you know, he was smart in his thinking. And plus, you know, I knew he was going to be a batting coach. A pitching coach. But, you know, you never knew that he was going to be a manager. But, you know, here he is now, and he's doing a fine job.
Well, while most of us refer to Bud as Bud or Buddy, Dusty calls him Harry, guys.
Yeah, you got to love that.
Just as Buddy could call Dusty Johnny his name. Both known by baseball fans by their nickname moniker. All right, third inning, a 1-1 tie, and it's Dusty's crew at bat. Top of the order, Derek Robinson. That's going to be a tough play for Hundley, and he gets him on a close call. He had to pounce and fire because Robinson can fly.
Let's take a look at Nick Hundley getting out of the box. He sees that bat early. He gets himself into position. Throws a strike to Yonder Alonso. Watch how he gets out of the box. Derek Robinson can get down the line.
It's like an Olympic sprinter going down.
Puts his head down and goes.
Out of the blocks. Shin Soo Choo. What if Shin is a nickname and maybe his formal name is Tibia Soo Choo?
It's a tongue twister. Oh, good breaking ball by Edison.
Jumps ahead 2 strikes. Choo flied to left his first time. Drive to center. Perfect position, Amarista. 2 away. And now a Fox Sports 1 game break. Thanks for that report. And of course, the Yankees then will come down to San Diego for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Saturday game now is a complete sellout, fans. There are scattered seats available for Friday night, but don't wait and walk up and hope that there'll be tickets there. We'd advise that you give the Padres a call and order your tickets.
Well, because of all the people coming too, they're opening the gates half hour early. And out here, it's going to be an exciting series.
The parking lots are going to fill, and for those of you that might find it convenient, you can park at Qualcomm Stadium, 5,000 free parking spots, and take the MTS trolley from Qualcomm into Petco. Chopped by the mound. Somebody better cover. Volquez gets over there in time to get Votto. 1-2-3 inning for Edinson Volquez. The game tied at 1.
Park. I'm Megan O'Leary out here on the Jack Deck, and it's Social Media Tuesday. It's time for our AT&T Twitter poll question. All right, tonight we're asking you, who is your favorite baseball movie manager? Use the hashtag movie manager and then a hashtag for your selection. Either Buttermaker from Bad News Bears, Jimmy Dugan from A League of Their Own, Brown from Major League, or Fisher from The Natural. I'll be back later in the game with those results. Guys?
All right, Megan, that's an interesting question to have our fans play with. Great movies about baseball.
Oh, I love baseball movies. How can you not go with Buttermaker right there?
Bad News Bears is your vote. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Everett Cabrera leads off the third. 1-1 tie.
You know that guy Kelly Lake that rides the motorcycle?
Yeah.
Mike Pomeranz reminds me of him.
Now, if it was general manager included in there, that'd be easy for me. Harrison Ford as branch rookie in 42 was terrific. He might just get an Academy Award nomination for that. 1-1 to Cabrera. Everett Cabrera and several other major leaguers awaiting the news that apparently is going to come out later this week as to possible suspensions, biogenesis situation. And, that could impact some of the ball clubs going to be fighting for a pennant. Some key players on that long list.
A lot of names out there. Haven't heard anything official yet. Seems like it's going to be coming. There's reports today that might hear it either tomorrow or the next day.
We're also waiting for a report on Sean O'Sullivan and the expecting child in the O'Sullivan family today or tonight. No news as yet.
Well, wife Sabrina, are expecting a girl. Exciting times.
So he's on paternity leave. Miles Michaelis has been called up from Tucson. 2-2 now to Cabrera. Fly to center his first at bat.
Well, Evers has been doing a nice job with 2 strikes, choking up on the bat. And a lot of line drive to center field.
Ground ball right side. Votto there to glove it. And Latos covers for the putout. Let's go down to Laura. What do you have for us?
Well, Dick, on Managers Night, it's only appropriate that we take a look at some of the great managers in Padres history. We're going to talk about some all-time win leaders for the Padres, and let's take a look at some of these here. Here you've got Greg Riddich, and then we've got John McNamara, Dick Williams, and then finally Bud Black, 500-plus wins for the skipper, and Bruce Bochy, can't forget him, 951 wins. How about that, Dick?
Yeah, Bochy, and he took his skills as a manager and leader up to San Francisco for a couple of World Series titles. Makes his home in Poway. Still one of us in many ways.
You know, a lot of people talked about Bruce Bochy and him leaving, and still having that same presence, a player's manager, and Bud Black taking over. What a great addition and a transformation into that next phase for the Padre organization.
And Marista squares and takes it out of the strike zone. 1-1. He flying to left field his first at bat. Well, Laura doing a good job of documenting those past managers, but she left out one of our favorites. Out of play. Jerry Coleman.
Oh, how can you miss the Colonel?
They brought him out of the Ray Kroc, took him out of the broadcast booth and put a manager's uniform on him.
I saw Colonel today before the game, and I said, "Good to see you, Colonel." He says, "I'm here, aren't I?" His one-liners are priceless.
1-2. And that'll be a foul ball kicking over to Dave Roberts at first base. Yeah, if I had been skilled enough to play this game on a high level and could have played for the managers that I've witnessed, there'd be a couple that I would have liked to have played for. This one is going to be fair, and Votto, look at that flip with the glove. That's a couple of 3-1 putouts to open this third inning.
Let's watch this glove work. And it's actual glove work. Very surprising, not taking the ball and tagging Alexi by himself.
Yeah, that was tricky. That could have caught up in the webbing of the glove. But and speaking of the Colonel as a manager, there he is. 73 and 89, almost a 500 record back in 1980. Well, you know one thing, his team better play good defense.
Oh, yes.
Jerry was proud of that. And then he went back to the booth and started hanging his stars on the great plays.
He loves those defensive plays.
I would have liked to have played for Bobby Cox.
Oh, yes, I agree. You know why for me? He always wore his spikes, even managing. And he wasn't going in to hit, pitch, run. He just thought that was his style. And so many guys that I played with in my career spoke glowing about Bobby Cox. Players manager, back to players to no end. Hence all the ejections.
161 times. That's one game from a complete season of being ejected. Quinton off the head of the bat. That's going to spin foul. Carlos drilled one to deep center field his first time on a line, but Robinson was able to chase it down. The other would have been Casey Stengel, because I just would have loved to sit on the bench and hear Casey fracture the language. It helped me to understand Al McGuire later in my career as a basketball announcer. You know, it started to worry me when I actually understood Al. And that was kind of how the players felt about the old professor, Casey Stengel.
So many great names in this game. Great managers, great leaders.
This was Casey's birthday, July 30th. Fooled on that pitch. It's 2-2.
Our Fox tracks by Southland Technology, all down out of the strike zone. Look at this lineup tonight. Carlos Quinton without Chase Headley in it. This is the guy you don't want him to beat you.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Latos and Quinton in this head-to-head battle. Yonder Alonso on deck. His single leading off the second. Venable doubled him to third, and Alonso scored on Forsyth's ground out to tie the game at 1 in the second. Yonder now at 290. Shortstop Cozart across to Votto. And Latos works 1-2-3 third inning. 1-1 tie at Petco.
The top of the fourth, I'm Megan O'Leary, your social media reporter, out here on the Jack Deck with some Padres fans. Tonight it's Social Media Tuesday, and we're talking about managers' meltdowns. This one comes from John Lack 66. He said, Lou Piniella throwing first base with good distance. Should have made that into an Olympic sport. We've actually got some video of Lou Piniella's meltdowns. He's kind of famous for those, picking up that base and tossing it. Yeah, that is a good distance. That could be an Olympic sport. I see that right there. Piniella getting showing his strength there. All right, guys, we're talking Managers Night all night. Remember to tweet us using hashtag Managers Night. I'll be back with more tweets. Guys, back to you.
Oh, that's a beauty. Sweet Lou. Sometimes he could get sour.
I love that. I really do. I love the emotion of the game.
And of course, Billy Martin and Earl Weaver, they were more dirt kickers. They loved to just kick dirt on umpires. That was their thing.
See that much anymore. Saw one of those clips from a minor league manager last year in the Atlanta Braves. He threw the rosin bag like it was a grenade. Very, very creative.
You know, Earl Weaver, he'd get his cap and turn it backwards so that he could get his nose right into the nose of the umpire.
Right in there.
Brandon Phillips flying to left his first time. 2-1 the count. First 3 innings for Volquez, and required only 37 pitches, 1 walk and no strikeouts. To third, Forsythe gets that second hop and throws him out. Some of the masters of the meltdown. There's our man Earl Weaver. Yep. Well, he gets the cap off here. So there, Billy, come on, give him another duster. That's the original dust job. And Bobby Cox, he's the all-time champion. 161 times he got the heave-ho.
That's getting your money's worth.
I hope you're not lip reading there. But think about that, 161. The season is 162 games,
yes.
So that's almost 1 full year where he was tossed. That's what the game will do to you. Get into the dog days of August, and we're about to get there. This is the final day of July. It all builds up. Jay Bruce. That's an off-speed breaking pitch in there. 0-2.
Well, Andy Ashby down near the dugout. We're talking about managers tonight. You've been on a lot of ball clubs. Your favorite manager?
You know what? I'm going to have to go with Bochy. Bruce Bochy was a great guy, great manager, and a player's manager. He was definitely a pleasure to play for.
You know, Bruce Bochy, player's manager, but he had that fire. He let his coaches coach. Did not got on too many players for their efforts, but he got on his coaches, tough on his coaches, and I like that style because as a player's manager, those guys, every one of us in 1998 played hard for Bruce Bochy.
1-2 to Bruce, who singled and scored the Reds' run in the second inning. He singled leading off, moved to second on a ground out, to third on the infield hit by Cozart, and scored on the infield chopper that went for a base hit by the catcher Mesoraco. Pulled foul. You know, it's a common device by managers and head coaches in all sports where rather than criticizing the player directly head to head, they will shout loud enough at that player's coach, position coach, that what's wrong with your guy? You know, tear into the coach. You're not doing your job very well because Sweeney, it doesn't seem to be carrying out his assignment.
Well, it's an expectation level for managers.
55-foot skipper all the way to the screen.
It was the communication that Bruce Bochy brought, right, Andy Ashby?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're working with your pitching coach and you're down doing your side work, they want to make sure you're not down there just throwing. They want to make sure you're getting ready for your next start, and Bochy was big on that. You know, if you're going to do something, do it right, get ready for your next start or your next AB, So when you get on the field, you're ready. There's no doubt that, you know what, I'm ready to go out and perform and give my club a chance to win.
Practice as you play, huh?
Exactly.
Bruce with the count 2-2. 1 out, bases empty. Top of the 4th inning at Petco. A 1-1 tie. Middle game of this 3-game set with the Reds. And an off day Thursday before the Yankees come in Friday night. Right side Alonso. Volquez there for the 3-1 putout. And that'll bring up Todd Frazier. Well, tomorrow, a day game, folks. We'll be on the air. Fox Sports San Diego's telecast at 12 noon. 12 noon. It's a 12:30, 12:40 game. Eric Stoltz will try to level his record at 9-9 against Homer Bailey. Bailey, since pitching the no-hitter, has gone 0-4, and his record is 5-10. That's tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon here on Fox Sports San Diego. Nice crowd on this Tuesday night. And of course, we're going to have most probably 3 consecutive sellouts for the Yankees over the weekend. Pulled foul. Frazier hit the ball hard the last time, right at Forsythe at third. In case you're just joining us, Chase Headley given the night off from the starting lineup. He is available as a pinch hitter, but been playing every game, and Bud Black wanted to give the Gold Glove third baseman a rest.
Chase Headley he doesn't like days off, and this is a difficult day for him. But for a manager and his style, it's all about getting your guys fresh and that communication level. And I think Chase Headley, if he had everything to do with it, he'd be playing third base every single day. That's the beauty of having him and putting him in the lineup every day. But managers have to make tough choices, and especially after that big win last night, a lot easier to taking Chase Headley out of the lineup today.
Struck him out. There's the first strikeout for Edinson Volquez, who is now retired 7 in a row. Middle of the 4th inning. Padres won, the Reds won. Diego, brought to you by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, inviting you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. And by GMC. We are professional grade. 8:30, well, actually 8:40. 8:20. I guess it was 8:20, wasn't it, on the big clock over at the parking area outside of Petco, high-rise parking lot. Yonder Alonso Led off the second with a single to left, moved to third on Venables' double into the right field corner. After Jerko struck out, Forsythe's ground out got the run home to tie it at 1. 52 pitches for Latos. He's had to offer more deliveries than Volquez tonight as we enter the 4th. Good swing.
Well, Yonder Alonso has made some nice adjustments at the plate. Talked to him yesterday before the game. He doesn't like where he's at now. He's close, but he's getting his hits. The timing's coming back. He looks a lot more comfortable on the plate where his hand position is. I like his setup.
Line drive, base hit, right on cue. Alonso is 2 for 2. He was 1 for 2 with 2 walks last night.
Now take a look at this setup. Nice and simple. Gets his foot down and works to center of the field. Last time going left center. For Yonder Alonso to be successful, he's got to use all parts of the field, hit the ball where it's pitched. That's the reason why so many people talk about him evolving as a hitter. He's going to get better and better.
Against the Reds, hitting .355 in the last 2 years as a Padre, and now adding with a 2 for 2 night. Here's Venable.
Well, for all the people that played against their former team, there's always motivation. I don't care what they say. I played on 7 different teams. When you play against your former teammates, you up the ante a lot.
And when you're traded, they even added incentive. Big hole for Venable on that right side with Brandon Phillips shaded over towards second. Double play position. Votto holding on Alonso.
That's a great point, Dick. For the left-handed hitters, that's that space. If you get that high breaking ball, you can hook into that hole.
Gets a call there, does Latos. 1-2. We know the Yankee pitchers coming up on the weekend and Friday night. A delicious matchup. Andrew Kashner for the Padres against CC Sabathia. Saturday it'll be Tyson Ross against Ivan Nova. And Sunday to be announced by the Padres against Phil Hughes of the Yankees. And the count goes full. Latos has walked 1 man, but that was intentionally. Nick Huntley back in the second.
We talked about the success that Mike Leake had last night, but it doesn't go without saying the San Diego Padres grinded out at bats last night, got into the bullpen, and tonight much the same. I like the approach from the Padres against Matt Latos tonight.
Alonso with a safe lead. And ball 4. Well, this partnership produced a run in the second. A single by Alonso, double for Venable. Now a single Alonso and a base on balls earned by Venable.
Let's take a look at our game plan by Farmers Insurance, and it's all about frustrating Matt Latos. You can see that 3-2 count right there by Will Venable. Play with his emotions. This is an emotional start for him coming back against his former mates.
So no one out, 2 on for the Padres here in the 4th. Chance to break this 1-1 tie. Jerko struck out swinging his first at bat. 1 of 2 strikeouts by Latos thus far. He's a strikeout per inning pitcher again this season. .132 and 2/3 innings coming in, 136 strikeouts.
Well, when Jed Jerko is going through these tough times, taking fastballs is not what you want to do in the strike zone. Easier said than done. It always seems like you're swinging out of the strike zone and you're taking strikes.
And quickly down on the count, 2 strikes.
The hard thing mentally is to simplify. For Jed Jerko, he has to get back to the basics. When he was successful, he's talking about getting his foot down and getting in position. Phil Plantier believes in Jed Jerko. A lot of people do. This young man knows how to hit. Emotionally, he has to get to that next level at the big league level.
4 for the last 45 for Jerko. Alonso's going to try to get third on that play, and they throw him out. His slide came up short. That was a risky move by Alonso. Ball did not tick very far away from Mesoraco, and Alonso thrown out. You don't want to make that first out at third base.
Well, Mesoraco gets crossed up here, and that's what Yonder Alonso sees. When you make this decision, you have to be right. You have to be safe. He gets crossed up, and then Yonder makes that move. Unfortunately, it doesn't get away from Mesoraco too far.
Venable moves into second base, but now there's one out, and 1 and 2 to Jerko. Another ball in the dirt. Curveball. Logan Forsythe on deck. Jerko with a chance to break the tie on a base hit with Venable at second base. And look at this infield alignment for the Reds. Second baseman Phillips playing directly behind second base. Now he moves back on the second base side, but not by much.
Well, it tells me fastball in or breaking balls away.
And waved at and miss again by Jerko. He just is totally twisted. Jerko.
Well, I can't stress enough how hard this game is mentally. To take pitch by pitch, at bat to at bat. Jed Jerko will get out of it, but it's when you get out of it. It's eliminating those long stretches. It's a tough test for Jed Jerko right now.
Yeah, it's got to eat at the rookie, as even tempered as he may be. Forsythe with 2 outs and Venable at second. Logan with runners at first and third in the second inning, grounded to shortstop, and with the infield back, that allowed Alonso to come in to score. Fastball 1-1. Nick Connolly on deck. Last of the fourth, a 1-1 tie here at Petco Park in San Diego. Matt Latos of the Reds, the former Padre, against Edinson Volquez of the Padres, the ex-Red. There's that downward plane fastball you talked about.
Yeah, perfect location by Matt Latos.
Came out with the breaking pitch. So in trouble, he goes to the strikeout pitch and gets Jerko and Forsythe.
The San Diego Padres, Bruce Bochy, the man with the Midas touch in this series. Everything you touch turned to gold, and you're the National League champions. Congratulations.
Well, I'm not sure about that. For a couple of games, it seemed like all the moves I made weren't working at all. But I can't say enough about the heart and determination this club played with. I mean, to go against two great ball clubs like Houston and Atlanta, it doesn't get any better than this.
A great moment for Padres history, and Bruce Bochy there to orchestrate the move to the World Series.
Yeah, what a moment for all of us involved in that 1998 team. And talking about a magical year, and Andy Ashby was a huge part of that down near our dugout. Your favorite memory about 1998?
You know what, I think when I look back at that team, just the heart that we played with day in and day out, didn't matter if we were down 8 runs or whatever, we knew we were going to win. And the closeness of that team to go out every day, and if you had a problem, you knew there was somebody on that team that had your back. And what a special year. But to do it with that team and that group of guys was absolutely something that I will never forget. It was a magical year.
Zach Cozart leads off the 5th inning for the Reds. Volquez has retired 7 in a row. Cozart an infield hit to deep short his first time up.
Andy, we're always talking about Bruce Bochy and how he led us in 1998. Just a fearless leader, and you talked about a player's manager before, but he had a lot of fire inside him as well, didn't he?
Oh, definitely. If you weren't doing your job, he was definitely going to let you know about it, and I think that's what made us play harder. We knew that he respected us as players, but we respected him and our coaching staff as coaches and managers, because they coached us and managed us that way. They wanted us to go out and give 100%, and that's what they expected. If you weren't doing that, Bochy was definitely going to let you know about it.
Big pitch here for Volquez. He does not want to walk the leadoff man. Cozart lifts that one foul. It'll make it to the crowd down the right field side. Cozart, Mesoraco, and Latos, the bottom 3 in the order in the 5th inning for Cincinnati. 60th pitch for Volquez upcoming. Walked it. That's the 2nd base on balls from Volquez. Loses the leadoff man, and that'll bring up Mesoraco. Upset with himself, understandably.
Well, this is the time with Edison Volquez. He can be upset walking off the mound. When he toes the rubber again, got to get that concentration level to what he needs to do to execute right here.
Mesoraco knocked in the Cincinnati run with a high chopping infield hit to 3rd. Long look at Mark Berry, the 3rd base coach, to see if maybe a hit and run's in the works.
Yeah, not a bad time. Got to try to break up this atmosphere of this game right now.
One and one.
We're always trying to change signs down there, and sometimes it's not necessarily that pitch. It could be the next pitch that you're getting a sign for. Also, those runners at first, sometimes they're looking into the bench for a sign, and they're just trying to get it away from the Padres stealing them.
Padres, after that disastrous run of 15 games where they went 1-14, have rallied here in July after the All-Star break. They won 7 of their last 10.
There's Rick Renteria. He handles the signs over there and trying to pick that up, throwing over. You got a call there. That changeup elevated, but Rick Renteria, understanding they get the scouting reports, the tendencies of the Cincinnati Reds. Now they're trying to pick out signs that Mark Berry, the third base coach, is giving. Relaying it to Nick Hundley. Game within the game. That's what's so interesting about the game of baseball.
Foul. 1-2 the count remains on Mesoraco. He's 25, Mesoraco, and was a first-round pick of the Reds 6 years ago. 15th overall player selected. And as we mentioned earlier, there was a real discussion as to would they trade Yasmani Grandal, and they figured that Mesoraco was going to be their catcher of the future.
Yep. That's what you have to identify if you're a club. Who really rates the best? And sometimes you're right. You make a wrong decision because they don't develop the way that you thought they would be.
Struck him out. Nice curveball.
Well, Andy Ashby down near the dugout. One of the moments that I thought was great this year, and you're a former starting pitcher for Eric Stultz. He's been tremendous. In his second complete game of the year, Bud Black went out and had a conversation with him. And you look at him, he's asking how he felt. He left him in and pumped him up to finish the ball game. It has to be a great feeling from a starting pitcher.
Yeah, that's huge. Anytime you go out and give your club a chance to win, first of all, but knowing that when your manager comes out there and you're in the ninth inning, he says, you know what, how you feel? You know what, I want to finish it. That's huge. When you can go out and show your manager I can go 7, 8, 9 innings.
They got to play at second here. And they get the force back to first, not in time. But wait, they're going to call the runner safe at second base. That's the call of second base umpire John Tumpane, and that's going to bring Bud Bell out to Buddy Black out to maybe ring the bell of the second base umpire. How can you call him safe? It's a forced play at second base. Latos bunts it sharply. Volquez has time here. Well, that might have been a good call.
Yeah. So many times you see that call not being made, but too tough to determine. No, he's on that bag.
So a sacrifice fielder's choice. A walk, and they don't get the sure out. So 2 on with 1 out. Late umpire Mark Carlson picking up the cause.
Yeah, I think Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire, is saying to Bud Black, that's considered a visit. If you have any communication with your starting pitcher, they have to call that a visit.
So on his way back to the dugout, making a comment to Volquez.
Now, so many things you have to think about as a manager.
So the Reds, without a base hit, have runners at first and second here in the 5th inning with 1 out, and to the top of the order, Derek Robinson. And Volquez again can only blame himself. The leadoff walk, and he elected to try to get the force. It appeared at the time to be the right play. But Cozart got into the bag in a hurry and beat the throw. Here's Robinson. He's grounded out and tried to bunt his way on, and Hundley threw him out in the 3rd. Changeup. Shin-Soo Choo on deck. 1 out here in the 5th, a 1-1 tie.
Go back to that play, Dick, and see this play. Edson Volquez has an opportunity. He's in perfect position, but Everett Cabrera needs to be a first baseman right there. You don't want to necessarily get the double play. You want to get the out at second base. You're taking an opportunity. Zach Cozart comes in hard. You almost want to put yourself in a position as a middle infielder, like a first baseman, getting that out.
Trico did a good job of handling the throw by Cabrera that was wild. Line drive, double play. They get him that 6-4 on the line drive double play, and we're at the halfway mark in this one. 4.5 in the books. A 1-1 tie.
Levy out in the Jack Deck for Social Media Tuesday. Tonight we're using the hashtag Managers Night. We've been asking you questions throughout the night. Let's take a look at one of your responses right now. We asked you, who's the best former MLB player who turned manager? So we're looking for guys who played in the MLB and had success as a manager, and Friar Fanatic said Tony La Russa. He was a great mentor. All right, guys, what do you think?
Well, thanks, Megan. I had the opportunity to play for Tony La Russa, and very prepared manager.
Some say he overmanaged.
Well, sometimes it was, and it was the case. But when I left, I appreciated what Tony did when I first came into the league, because his preparation, he was ready for everything, and he implemented that pitcher hitting in the 8th spot. And the reason for it, Mark McGwire hitting 3rd. He believed that he wanted Mark McGwire to hit in the 1st inning. But moving forward, he wanted almost 2 leadoff guys and more guys on base when Mark McGwire came up again, and also Albert Pujols. So very innovative. And yes, he did overmanage at times, but the success and the amount of wins that he had was unbelievable. I know Andy Ashby down there pitched against Tony La Russa's ball club. Very prepared club, wasn't it?
Totally. I mean, they're definitely probably one of the lineups that they didn't have holes, but you know what? They battled. They knew what they had to do, and if there were runners on, they moved them over. They played small ball when they had to. They would definitely generate runs and figured out a way to get some runs across the board. But yeah, definitely a great manager.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. Connie Mack, who managed 50 years, of course, with the most wins by far, 1,000 more than anyone in second place, as Hundley skies one into shallow center field, a long run, but Robinson is there for the out. But then John McGraw and La Russa in modern day baseball, the winningest of all managers. One out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So with La Russa moving the pitcher in the 8th spot, then he would put what would it amount to a second leadoff man in the 9th spot, and then the regular leadoff man. So he had 2 men potentially to set the table for the big guns that follow.
Well, it added a lot of dialogue from other managers, and they took offense to that because it wasn't the trend across the league. But that was Tony La Russa, and I commend him for it. He had the guts to do it. But you also have to have the team to execute that as well. A lot easier if you're doing that. They were struggling scoring runs at the time.
Volquez bounces one to shortstop. Cosart across for the out. And there's 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning for Matt Latos. Joe Torre, 2,326 runs. Robbie Cox, 2,500. And LaRusse almost 2,700. Then McGraw second. And Cornelius McGillicuddy Mack. Connie Mack, 3,731 wins for the Philadelphia A's.
Well, I had the privilege to play for two of those, Joe Torre and Tony La Russa. And my last year, I had an opportunity to make a decision between Joe Torre and Bobby Cox. Not a bad choice for a pinch hitter that's the last guy on the roster. But that was actually a tough decision for me. I thought the world of Bobby Cox, and getting that opportunity up in L.A. to play for Joe Torre and learn from him. What a presence. Couldn't make a bad decision.
No, that was win-win. Cabrera with 2 outs and the bases empty, and he bounces one right over the bag at second base into center field. Cabrera with the 4th Padre hit of the night. And a potential threat to steal. Time now for the Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. Leaders in winning percentage, Max Scherzer. This is for last year plus this year. And Tillman, Latos, 3rd in winning percentage, ahead of Greinke and Price.
Impressive guys on that list. What a year Max Scherzer's had for the Detroit Tigers. Easy for me to say, Detroit Tigers.
Well, you got through Scherzer. That's tough enough. So here's Amarista. High ball 1. Cabrera will look for his spot. Basically, the green light is there for Cabrera. It's his choice as to whether he wants to pick a certain pitch to steal.
That's a good opportunity with 2 outs.
Looking for his 37th steal, leading the National League. That's what you're talking about. Cabrera using the middle of the field.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing a lot of. Get a quick toss from Matt Latos over, keeping Everett Cabrera close. Alexi Amarista has to understand he's looking for fastball because he wants to try to control the running game.
Fouled out of play.
He got that fastball and got big on the swing. You take a look at right center. That right center gap. If he shoots that, Everett Cabrera will score easily. As Derek Robinson shades left center.
And Bruce is straight away and right. That is a big gap. Amarista slide to left and grounded to first. 4 hits for the Padres off Latos, 3 base hits for Cincinnati against Volquez. Another foul. Late on the fastball, Amarista. Well, tomorrow at 1 o'clock San Diego time, that will be the deadline for any possible trades, and there are a lot of rumors floating around, and apparently one trade is close to consummation that involves former Padre pitcher Jake Peavy. We'll wait to see the details when that is definitely a deal done. Two and two.
Well, the last time he elevated that fastball, he backed it up with that hard slider. Just changing eye levels. And working down in the zone by Lexi. Hard stuff. He's loved to put a lot of hitters away with that hard slider.
Cabrera goes. Ground ball foul. Got a good break. Winces at the thought for sure he had the steal.
Yeah, it's that feeling. Getting the good jump. Hoping that's a ball in the dirt. And with 2 strikes, Alexi Amarista does the right thing. He's got a battle.
Pitch count for Latos up to 81 here in the 5th inning.
Only given up 4 hits to this point, but the San Diego Padres have battled their at bats, driving that pitch count up.
It's got to be one of the toughest jerseys to clean after every game. Cabrera's. Time called as hurt in his eye.
Well, possibly having a conversation with Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is the base running coach.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cabrera goes and fouled again. Steady diet of fastballs from Latos, and Amarista unable to get around.
Let's take a look at Everett Cabrera. He gets a good jump and he peeks in to see that line drive. It's not a straight steal. You have to be aware of what Alexi Amarista is doing. If he shoots a gap, you want to continue to run and possibly score. This is the concentration level. You got to try to make a pitch, control the running game. Perfect situation to make a mistake.
And he's got second base stolen, number 37. Picked a good spot there, the ball in the dirt, and not fielded cleanly by the catcher Mesoraco. And the count goes 3-2.
Oh, another great jump by Everett Cabrera, and a perfect pitch to run on. Slider down and in the dirt. The explosion he has with his lower half.
44 steals a season ago to lead the National League. He's got 37 here at the last of July, August tomorrow.
Puts so much pressure on a pitcher to locate, to keep your concentration level. Slider in.
And struck him out. All that work, and the Padres unable to get Cabrera around. We've completed 5. It's tied at 1. Tonight, a 1-1 tie as we go to the 6th inning. One of Frank Robinson's most famous moments as a player manager came in 1976 with the Indians, bottom of the 13th against the White Sox. Robbie put himself in as a pinch hitter against Terry Forster and promptly clubbed a 2-run shot to send the Indians on to a win 5-4. How about those red corpuscle uniforms?
Those are sweet.
Volquez has a new left fielder. Jesus Guzman has replaced Carlos Quinton in left. As Shin Soo Chu and Joey Votto with Brandon Phillips, the tough hitters here in the 6th for the Reds. No report as to why Guzman has replaced Quinton. He was resting that sore knee yesterday. By the mound. And Jerko throws out Chu for the first out. Good outing for Volquez, limiting the Reds to 3 hits. And they all came in 1 inning. The second inning, a leadoff single by Bruce and a couple of infield hits produced the run.
That's a good ratio there out of his 71 pitches. I like the location. I like the demeanor. It's like he's playing catch with Nick Hundley, and they've had good chemistry tonight.
Votto, one of the 2 walks allowed by Volquez, and grounded out. .93, still has good velocity.
Good velocity, good movement, good secondary stuff. So many people talk, why doesn't he win more games? It's that consistency. It's the concentration level. It's a tough game, and it's hard to win games in the big leagues.
And then he comes back off speed, and that's wicked. Colorado lost to Atlanta tonight 11-3. Philadelphia beat the Giants 7-3. Arizona defeated by the Rays 5-2. So NL West teams have gone down to defeat. So the Padres a chance to gain some ground on at least 3. We'll see about the Dodgers. They were leading 2-1 at last report.
Now you look now 2-2, bottom of the 6th up in Chavez Ravine.
3-1 now to Votto. With Brandon Phillips, the cleanup man, on deck. And he walked him again. Second time that Votto has walked. Almost a pitch around, as he has now received his 78th walk of the season. Only the 3rd allowed by Volquez tonight. Here's Phillips.
Well, coming into this game, .430 on base percentage by Joey Votto. Talked about earlier about what he does well hitting wise. He stays in the strike zone. He understands his strike zone and executes a plan consistently. Does not give at bats away.
There's nothing wrong with a walk, and a lot of great hitters have been criticized, Ted Williams being one of those, that he walked too much. He should have been swinging at the pitch. Well, he wouldn't have been a .400 hitter and an all-time hitter if he swings at the pitcher's pitches. Slap foul by Phillips. And Votto is certainly following that same formula.
Well, there's Dusty Baker over in the dugout. He set Joey Votto in motion. He understands his team's struggling to score runs. He's trying to create that motion, especially the movement in the infield. With Brandon Phillips up.
One and one.
That backup breaking ball. You get in the middle of the lineup, you have to locate.
Phillips signed way back in 1999 by Montreal, a second-round pick, and was traded to Cleveland. Played there for 4 years before Cincinnati acquired him in 2006. Inside again, 2-1. Curveball. One out walk to Votto here in the top of the 6th inning. Padres got a run in the bottom of the 2nd inning on a single Alonso, double Venable, and a ground out from Forsythe. That tied the game after the Reds scored their run on 3 singles. There are only 3 hits of the game in the 2nd. Hits by Bruce, and infield hits Cozart and Mesoraco.
But Joey Votto set in motion on that first pitch. Not a bad pitch here. He's set in motion. You know it's going to be a quality strike. Doesn't have to be a fastball. He has to throw a strike in this situation.
Three and one. Fastball upstairs. Volquez able to pitch out of trouble in the last inning, a walk, and then the runner safe on the bunt try. Matt Latos at second, so with 1 out, 2 on, but he was fortunate. Derek Robinson's line drive into a double play got him out of the fifth unscathed. Now a good hitter awaiting a 3-1 pitch.
Needs a double play ball right here, down and away.
Fastball was out of the strike zone. Phillips offered. It's 3-2.
Well, with Phillips, a .257 average coming in. Talked about the production: 12 home runs, 81 RBIs. He's going to take some chances. 3-1. He wants to drive the ball.
Votto goes, and it's fouled away. You could see Phillips trying to shoot that one to right field. Stir in the crowd here at Petco Park as the fans exercise the wave. Red Black doesn't mind the wave as long as it's not the third base coach Mark Berry doing the waving over there for the Reds.
Constant communication with Darren Balsley. Darren Balsley getting on the phone. They sense something with Edison Volquez.
And there's ball 4. And Phillips swung at a couple of pitches that were ball 4, and finally he joins Votto back-to-back walks here in the 6th inning. Well, time for the Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. National League leaders most strikeouts by a hitter this season. Jay Bruce second to Dan Uggla of Atlanta, just by 1 strikeout. Pittsburgh's Pedro Alvarez in the top 3 as well.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
Bruce has singled and grounded out tonight. Their top home run man with 22.
So many times we talk about Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres, and what a great job he does as Tim Stauffer and Nick Vincent get loose. Constant communication. Understands the keys for Edison Volquez. And you got to keep it simple with Edison.
After walking 2 men, one of the reasons certainly for him going out there is to say, hey, now they're there now, but don't lose your concentration on this guy, or one swing and they've got 3 runs.
Exactly.
That's a strike at the knees. Two on, 1 out here in the 6th. There's that changeup, but it floats low and away. 1-1. Oh, just missed that one. That's a major league pop fly into the seats back of the dugout of the Reds, and the count is 1-2.
You can see Nick Hundley working before Edison Volquez delivers that pitch. That's the reason why there's a guy on second base, Joey Votto. Doesn't want to give location to the hitter. Always got to worry about those veteran players relaying the location, and that's why Nick Hundley back there not giving location early, not setting up early.
There's a base hit to center field. Not hit hard, but that'll get a run home, and the runner on his way to third. He'll make that safely, and Bruce delivers. The Reds take a 2-1 lead. Votto scoring on the single, and running all the way, Brandon Phillips around to third. Yeah, you give a good team a couple of free tickets and they jump on the opportunity. That ball right up in the hitting zone of Bruce.
What a swing by Jay Bruce, but it's all about location for Edison Volquez. That breaking ball does not have bite. It's backed up a lot tonight, going the other direction, and that's a mistake by Edison Volquez to a hitter that understands how to drive runs in.
That brings up Todd Frazier with first and third occupied, and still only one out. Only the fourth hit for the Reds, but they claim the lead here in the sixth, 2-1. Frazier, a hard ground ball out to third, and struck out the last time. Well, that trade has become official. It's a three-corner trade, three-team trade. Jake Peavy will trade the White Sox for some Red ones. He goes to the Red Sox. And that young shortstop, that Cuban 23-year-old shortstop with Boston, was hitting over 400 when we saw them earlier this month.
He's impressive.
Jose Iglesias, he goes to the Tigers. Garcia from Detroit to Chicago. Villarreal from Detroit to Boston. And then the Red Sox also sent 3 minor leaguers to the White Sox. 1-1. So the big names in that trade. Peavy will become a Red Sox starter, and young Iglesias really looks like a good young player. Shortstop will become the Tiger shortstop, and that may be in anticipation of suspension coming up.
Well, you got to protect yourself. You're these organizations that expect to be in the playoffs.
1-1 now to Frazier. Pops him up. That's a long run for Jerko into foul territory for the out, and Phillips comes dancing 30 feet down the line at third to try to draw a throw, but Jerko runs it into the infield. A 2-away to Zach Cozart. Reds don't get a added run on an out. Cozart has an infield hit and a walk tonight.
Well, Edison Volquez needed to make a pitch. He still does. Nice play by Jet Jerko going down the line.
Johnny Peralta, the shortstop for the Tigers, one of those on that biogenesis list. So the Tigers making that move to get young Iglesias, anticipating the suspension of Peralta. Breaking ball strike. There's a good curveball.
And if that does happen to Peralta, what a move. Hitting Iglesias, who we saw play third base in the San Diego series up in Boston. What a glove man. He understands how to play the position. Soft hands. That's a good pickup.
It sure is. First and third, 2 outs, and a run home for the Reds here in the sixth. Another curveball, 1-1. And with a couple of walks here, setting the table for Cincinnati. Pitch count up over 90 now for Volquez. Bullpen now quiet. Both Vincent and Stauffer ready if needed. Right at Jerko. He'll go the short way for the out. But the Reds get a run on only one hit and take a 2-1 lead.
Petco Park. The Reds lead the Padres 2-1, and we asked some San Diego players and coaches to describe Bud Black in just one word. They said it was a hard task, but here's what they had to say.
Temperance. Even, every day, doesn't get overwhelmed, doesn't get too excited, doesn't get mad. He maintains ice because he remains cool, just real calm. Ice. This is how I can describe him.
I'd say sophisticated.
I'd say consistent. Consistent. You know what you're going to get from him each day, and kind of refreshing to have as a player.
He's definitely enthusiastic. He's enthusiastic about the game. You know, he loves the game. It's a part of him, and you know, that's what we like about him.
Well, it seems like the common denominator is consistency, and it's easy to see that this team loves their fearless leader in Bud Black, guys.
There's some nice compliments from his coaches and players.
Well, I'll add to that, being around Bud Black, it's passionate. He loves what he does, and he loves being around these guys. And Rick Renteria said ice. Well, he's got ice in his veins because he understands the people behind him. The coaching staff done a tremendous job as well.
Guzman hitting for the first time in Quinton's spot. Carlos leaving the game an inning ago, and no report as to why he was removed from the lineup. But he didn't play last night because of a ouchie knee that has been plaguing him throughout this year. High with a fastball. But you can see how tough it is to pick up that high fastball from Latos.
Yeah, he's got such a high delivery. You can see he's been very successful with that biting slider.
Doesn't get the call there. 2-1. Guzman, Alonso, and Venable here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Padres need a run to get back into a tie game. Alonso's 2 for 2 tonight. Has half of the 4-hit total. And Guzman works the count to his favor. 3-1. Latos has walked 2, one of those intentional.
Let's take a look at the motion by Matt Latos. He has that deception and then that release point way up there.
Ripped off the glove of shortstop Cozart, and that'll be an infield hit for Guzman. Good effort by Cozart, but that ball handcuffed him. And a leadoff single for Guzman.
Well, it was a good effort by Zach Cozart. Take a look at the location. He got into a good hitter's count and got a pitch out over the middle, and Jesus Guzman has never seen a fastball he doesn't like. Nice piece of hitting. Good effort by Cozart.
So the tying run, leadoff single, Guzman. And here's Alonso, 2 for 2. Broken bat single to left and scored. Line to single to center the last time. Average up to 295.
He's getting more comfortable. He's getting his timing back. Stayed back here during the All-Star break to continue to hit, coming off the disabled list.
Blocked by the catcher Mesoraco. 1-1.
Sounds easy, Dick, but what you have to do if you're Yonder Alonso is stay in the strike zone. He's got the swing. He hit the ball to all fields. He's learned how to pull the ball correctly. Sometimes he just gets a little too big with his swing. Doesn't have to do that. The power will come.
Oh, again, Mesoraco having trouble catching that ball cleanly. 2-1 the count. Alonso finishing last year, his first full season in the big leagues, at 273. Currently at 295. And with his talent and what we've seen in just 2 years, I think you could say with some justification he's going to be a 300 hitter.
Oh, yes. No question about it. You evolve in this game. He's got the swing. He's got the approach.
And the count 3-1.
In my opinion, Dick, it looks like he wants to power the ball before he masters what he really wants to do at the plate. Some of that might be youth. Some of that might be fighting mechanics. There's a lot of thoughts in your head as a young player in this game. I like where Yonder Alonso's going.
Guzman had a 3-1 pitch and singled off the glove of Cozart. Now a 3-1 to Alonso, and he fouls it away.
And you know what I like about him too, and having conversations with him, he's very hard on himself. It's motivational. He can take that to the cages. He's a perfectionist. He wants to be real good in this game. There's nothing wrong with that.
High fly ball to center field. Robinson has the room. One away. Well, in 1988, these were the players, and Charlie Manuel was the hitting coach for the Cleveland Indians, all 5 becoming big league managers.
A lot of success in that row. Saw John Farrell up in Boston, an ex-teammate of mine.
Terry Francona, Washington, Black, Manuel, all big league managers currently. Who knew?
Well, that's a good one right there. The communication skills he has, the passion.
Venable, a double, and this ball is driven to right center field. That's up the alley, a long run, and it is off the base of the wall. Running all the way. Here he comes trying to score, and Guzman hits the Pentagon, and the Padres have tied it at 2. Venable, second double tonight.
Let's take a look at the location of this pitch, right down the middle. And what an approach by Will Venable, using that lower half to drive that barrel through the baseball. And his second double is off the bottom of the fence. Take a look at Jesus Guzman with the read. Right off the bat, he puts his head down, takes a peek over his shoulder, and he's off running, tying this ball game up at 2.
Well, the Padres twice in the game have watched the Reds score and then come right back in the bottom half of that same inning to tie it up. Jerko, so overdue. And it just seems like every pitch that he sees is a strike, whether he's swinging at it or whether it's called. He has struck out twice tonight.
You got to eliminate all of those thoughts and go pitch by pitch.
A great time to break out of it right here. 1-1.
And once in a while you can see that front hip just open up for Jed Jerko. He needs that right center approach to keep him on the baseball.
Big Logan on Drusek starts to throw in the pen for Cincinnati as Leto's about to deliver pitch number 99. Pop up shallow and right. Bruce coming in. Look at the veteran Phillips. He hustles behind the right fielder in case, you know, 1 out of 1,000 times maybe that ball gets away from a right fielder. He's going to be there to back him up.
That's a great point. You got to hustle. You got to be in the right spots. He understands the importance of this game. The team has lost the last 2 games, as you talked about, Dick, on walk-offs. Very important game for the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, the last 4 games they've lost, they've scored only 3 runs total. So they got 2 runs tonight. So that's 5 runs in 5 games for the Red Machine, which is sputtering. Forsythe takes it in the dirt, and it gets away again from Mesoraco. Hits Forsythe, so it stays right there at home plate. So Dale Thayer now and Colt Hines have taken the place of Stauffer and Vincent in the bullpen. Tie-breaking run. Venable, he's figured in both scores with a pair of doubles tonight. 2 doubles and a walk for Venable. Forsythe driving in a run with a ground out. and he struck out the last time. Out of play.
Now there's Phil Plantier, the hitting coach for the Padres. Very intense. He understands the importance of this game. After the All-Star break, this has been a different offensive club. Been grinding out at bats, doing enough to win ball games.
Fastball backs Forsythe off the plate. 2-1 the count.
I know a lot of our fans don't get to come to the ballpark early. We get here. They're constantly taking early batting practice in the cages. Alonzo Powell, Phil Plantier. Constant process to get these guys where they need to be.
Good pitch made there. Breaking ball outside corner at the knees. 2-2 now to Forsythe. If you're wondering about Latos and his pitch count, more times than not, he's over 100 pitches in his start. Most he's thrown 111. That was 4 starts ago. 103 tonight. Strike 3 call. Fastball at 95. A little extra on that. He strikes out Forsythe for the second time, but Will Venable, a timely double into the right center field gap to chase Guzman home from first, and we're even again at 2.
Inning, Padres and Reds. Andy Ashby, Mike Pomeranz with you, working on the post-game show. Andy, boy, this is a heck of a pitcher's duel, living up to the hype.
Yeah, definitely a pitcher's duel. Edison Volquez keeping them in there in the 6th inning. They could have blew it open, but you know what? Made some great pitches, kept it, by 1 run. They came back, tied it up. Give their club a chance to win right here.
Couple of fun games, 2 in a row. We know about the theatrics of last night's ball game. Hopefully get a little bit of Padres offense right here and not make it so nerve-wracking toward the end like last night. But when we see in the post-game show, we'll talk about all that happens in the ball game. Plus, hey, it's Manager's Night, so you're going to hear from Dusty Baker and Buddy Black and a full recap of the evening's events. We'll see you after the final out.
All right, Mike, thank you. It's Volquez into the 7th inning, and catcher Devin Mesoraco, then the pitcher spot Latos, and there is a left-handed batter in the on-deck circle for the Reds, Jack Hanahan. So apparently Latos' night is through. Fouled at the plate. Then the leadoff hitter Derek Robinson scheduled here in the 7th. Latos over the 100 pitch mark. Not happy with himself. He had the lead twice and coughed it up on both occasions. 2nd inning, Reds got a run. Padres answered with a run the 2nd. Reds get a run in the 6th. Padres get it right back in the bottom of the 6th. Out of play.
Well, so many times we talk about Petco Park and playing 1-run ball games. Matt Latos understands the importance of pitching here. In his estimation, he made a mistake to Will Venable at a bad time.
There's the Reds box score. Only 4 hits, 2 of them by Bruce. Jay Bruce has been to the Reds attack what Will Venable has provided for the Padres. A couple of hits. And another foul. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Cincinnati. They've left 5. Padres 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They too have stranded 5. Dusty Baker's team that's had a terrible time coming up with hits with runners in scoring position in this 4-game losing streak. 1 for 23, but they're 3 for 6 tonight, while the Padres are 0 for 7. Joey Votto waiting his turn. Votto has walked twice, scored a run. Approaching the century mark himself is Volquez. Struck him out. Good curveball. That's strikeout number 3 tonight for Volquez. Let's go to Megan O'Leary. Megan.
Hey guys, yeah, it's time for our AT&T Twitter poll results. We asked who's your favorite manager from a baseball movie, and it looks like Lou Brown from Major League came out with the victory. Jimmy Dugan in a close second. Guys, my vote was for Jimmy Dugan.
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
love a league of their own, right?
Yeah, no crying in baseball.
But Major League, great movie. So guys, good work out there on tonight's AT&T Twitter poll question.
And now we go to the real thing is Dusty Baker. Bud Black managing against one another in this 2-2 tie.
Good 2 back-to-back breaking balls, 1 for the strikeout, and leading off hand-to-hand with another breaking ball.
As he's reached the 100 pitch mark. One and one. Hanahan just shy of 100 at bats on the season, hitting .214. As you can see, no home runs. A late swing on the fastball. 1-2. Dusty's Reds are 5 behind St. Louis at the start tonight. Trying to avoid another loss, which would match their longest losing streak of the season, 5. Latos 104 pitches in his 6 innings, getting up to the 2 earned runs, 6 hits. Walked 2 and struck out 6.
Solid outing by Matt Latos. He's going to think about that double, that last double in particular, by Will Venable scoring Guzman.
Hanahan, a hitter with a .214 average, comes cold off the bench, and Volquez walks him. That's the 5th walk. And if anything has been the Achilles heel of a very talented pitcher, Edison Volquez, it's the fact that too many walks. That's his 60th walk this season. He led the league last year, and he might again this. Pitching change at Petco. Sycuan, real friendly, real close. By Mossy Toyota. Summer temperatures higher, but Mossy's prices lower. Visit Mossy.com. And by the Aramco Group, purchase, refinance, reverse. So the two starters, Volquez and Latos, almost mirror images in terms of their pitching line. Latos 104 pitches, Volquez 105. They both out of the game now with it tied at 2, and Colt Hines makes his 5th appearance for the Padres. Derek Robinson, the leadoff man, and a big swing and a miss. Robinson hitting right-handed, batting .292, left-handed .250. So he swings from the right side for the first time. Hanahan, the pinch hitter, with a walk at first base. That's in there. 90 on the fastball.
You can see that old school double flaps for the switch hitter. Shin-Soo Choo does the same thing. He's a switch hitter. Oh, actually from the left side. Old school helmet.
Just does jackknife away. A little extra on the fastball at 92.
I like that pitch. Move his feet, make it uncomfortable, and open that outside corner.
Finally out to talk to his pitcher with Cabrera coming in from shortstop. Volquez 6 1/3, a quality start, only 4 hits. And isn't that the frustrating part about Edinson Volquez? So many times, not many hits at all. He's tough to hit.
He is tough to hit.
But he puts men on with those walks, and they come around to bite you. One of them tonight, the walk to Vato, became a run in the 6th inning.
I think Edison's going to tell you that same thing. It's frustrating. I don't think he had his consistency with his breaking ball tonight. Better fastball location. Solid outing by Edison.
Chris Heisey is in the on-deck circle for the Reds. He's had some big hits against the Padres in the last few years. Dusty Baker at least indicating he's going to use the right-handed hitter and force Bud Black to make a possible move. Dale Thayer staying loose in the bullpen. So if Heisey is introduced, then the guess is the manager, Black, will counter with a right-hander against right-hander.
That's what I love about the National League style game.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Off-speed breaking pitch, and Hines fans Robinson.
I think that slider went all the way back to that fastball in, moving his feet, exposing that slider, speeding the hitter up. Robinson swings over that slider.
Chris Heisey introduced. 2 outs. Bud Black looking over his card. He's asking Hines to back off the rubber, take a little time here. And now we'll come out with his lineup card, which usually indicates a double switch. And also bring in a bench player. And we'll see if Dusty Baker then counters by bringing up a left-handed pinch hitter. Chase Headley coming out, so he will replace Logan Forsythe at third base. And will bat in the pitcher spot, which is due second up in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Here comes Thayer. 2-2 tie, 2 outs in the 7th. Up saying here's Chris Heisey with 2 outs. An excuse me swing that goes foul. Alonso hoping that might twist back in fair territory. They are making his 50th appearance. He's done a solid job all season long.
Well, he has been a workhorse for Bud Black's bullpen. He and Luke Gregerson, I understand that they love the All-Star break to rest that arm.
Way and a miss by Heisey.
It's a power fastball by Dale Thayer. He comes right at you with location and movement, plus velocity.
Right into the power of Heisey, who has 5 home runs, hitting just .216.
Fox tracks by Southland Technology. You can see that 3rd pitch boring in on Heisey.
Hand at first base, 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Hines got his man, striking out Robinson. Now Thayer to Heisey. High fly ball, left center. Amarista calling. And the bullpen does the job. We're at the stretch half of the 7th at Petco.
Park on managers night, and the Padres and the Reds all tied up 2-2. Now sometimes if you're a great player in the major leagues, you can make that transition to also being a great manager. We've got some names that will certainly stick out to you here. Frank Robinson, 1961 and 66 NL MVP, and then also Joe Torre, the 1971 NL MVP and 96 and 98 Manager of the Year. Don Baylor, 1979 AL MVP, and of course also Manager of the Year award for him, and Kirk Gibson. Certainly plenty of accolades for these men. And Sweeney, I would think that sometimes that transition from being a great player to a manager can be difficult to make for some of these guys.
Yeah, you're right, Laura. And so many times it's all about the relationships that you build between the players and yourself and your staff. That success that you had as a player doesn't necessarily translate. You got to understand different personalities. So much of that goes into the factor of being a good manager and being a good communicator, especially in this day and age of the game.
Logan Andrusek, big, tall right-hander, comes in. He's won 3 games, but he's got a high ERA. He'll give up some runs.
Andrusek goes fastball, cutter, curve, and split. 3 pitches to the right-handers. You can eliminate that split finger. To the left-handers, 4 pitches.
Chris Heisey stays in the game in left field. That's a strike, 1-1.
A good breaking ball right there. Basically a fastball, cutter, curveball mix to the right-handers.
Hundley, then Headley, and then Cabrera here in the 7th.
There's that cutter. What a cutter is that just hard slider action away from the right-hander into the lefty.
6 hits for the Padres, 2 by Alonso, and 2 doubles for Will Venable. Cabrera with a single. And Guzman the other hit. Well, the Padres playing some close, low-scoring games. 1-0 win on Sunday in Arizona. A walk-off 2-1 win last night. Did he go? No. First base umpire Jerry Davis waves it off, and the count now full to Hundley.
Let's take a look at Nick Hundley. Did he go? Well, Mark Grant's going to say, yes.
I would have to
agree. I think he did too.
Ground ball foul. Low line drive.
Well, Jerry Davis, the crew chief over at first base, 29 years in the game. I think he's seen enough check swings to say no, he didn't go. There's Jerry Davis.
Little chill in the air tonight, so the umpires and the men on the bench wearing the jackets. And ball 4. A good at bat for Hundley. Leadoff walk. See if the Padres can take advantage of the generosity from Andrusek.
We talked about grinding out at bats and getting Latos out of the game. That's the accomplishment for the Padres.
Now hitting 9th, Chase Headley. Well, that's one of the managerial strategies, the double switch. You take out the pitcher, anticipating, where your player might be inserted, and knowing that pitcher spot was coming up second. Volquez, he gets Headley into the game. You have in essence a number 3 hitter batting 9th.
See that hole right there? Talked about it earlier in the game, Dick. Votto holding him on at first base. That's very inviting for the left-handed hitter.
And after a ball inside, tough pitch up and in. 0-2 the count to Headley. Yeah, this time last year, pins and needles for Headley. Many thought he might be traded away. Stayed with the club and had a sensational August and September.
There's that cutter again.
Padres hope that that will be repeated again this year.
Well, mentally, when you hear your name and these trade reports, your friends are telling you, the newspapers, everything that you hear, it's all about where you're going, not if you're staying. Chase Headley, that weighed on him a lot last year.
Struck him out. Went to the changeup. 1 out to Cabrera.
Let's take a look at how they attack Chase Headley. First pitch fastball. That's the fastball that you want to put in play. And he gets a cutter. Another cutter inside that he takes. And then he fishes him off with that breaking ball down out of the strike zone, as you can see from our Fox tracks.
Tough pitch. So Cabrera, flied out, grounded out, singled, and stole his 37th base the last time in the 5th. Good curveball for strike 1. And Marista to follow. Padres, when they won last night, it was the 19th time they won a 1-run decision. 19. Arizona and Oakland have won 21-run games. That gives you an idea of so many games. Just delicate. Just that one play, that one big swing.
And it goes a long way. When you win those 1-run ball games, you develop an attitude and a feel for your ball club. It brings you closer. We saw last night how exciting that was with Kristen Orfia's home run. Brings everyone closer, gives you a good taste in your mouth when you leave the ballpark.
But it fouled by Cabrera. And everywhere that I moved today around San Diego, a lot of buzz about the home run to Orfia. Wasn't that great? And I think it had an impact on the crowd tonight. 29,207 on this Tuesday night. And don't forget, day game tomorrow, folks. At 12:40 start. We'll be on the air at noon. Fox Sports San Diego. Homer Bailey for the Reds and Eric Stoltz for San Diego. Struck him out. So Andruzek using that cutter gets both Headley and Cabrera after he walked the leadoff man Hundley. Emerista wide out, grounded out, and struck out.
What that cutter does, especially the velocity, it just quickens you up because you don't want to jam yourself. So you get out of the strike zone a little bit more because you're thinking about protecting that inside part of the plate, especially from the left-handers.
That's the four-seam fastball.
So much of this game is mental and what the pitchers do to put you in a position to get you out of the strike zone, changing speeds.
Hit well to center, charged by the center fielder Robinson. He has to play it on a hop. So Amarista keeps hopes alive for the Padres here in the seventh with a sharp single to center. 2 on, 2 out to Jesus Guzman.
Now look at the location on this pitch, right over the middle of the plate. Alexi loves those fastballs, using his lower half, little ninja. Solid swing up the middle of the diamond.
Reds outfielders were playing deep to prevent the double, and that allowed Amarista's line drive to fall in front of Robinson. Guzman came up in the 6th inning after replacing Carlos Quinton with an infield hit to deep short and scored on the double by Venable that tied the game at 2.
There's Nick Conley out there at second base. He has to be very good with his secondary lead to get in that scoring position on a single.
Outside, ball 1.
If you don't possess a lot of speed, you have to put yourself in a position to try to cut those steps down, especially in this position when you got to score that winning run possibly.
Has a big lead, and of course will be off at the crack of the bat. On the outside edge. Padres 0 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. Guzman trying to change that right here and give San Diego the lead.
Well, you see the gap in right center. Jesus Guzman, that swing in Milwaukee that he had for a home run. Probably wouldn't be a home run here, but that would work.
Time called as Mesoraco goes out to talk to Andruzek.
So many times late in the game, Dick, these relievers will come in. They'll try to make you beat them the big part of the field. They don't like to make mistakes in off the plate. So you have to be cognizant of driving the ball the other way if they give that to you. You can see Jesus Guzman loves to pull the ball.
2 balls and a strike.
Now good take. It's a pitcher's pitch.
Well, we were talking about Latos and how throwing downhill at 6'6". Andruzek is even taller. He's basketball height, 6 feet 8 inches tall.
A lot of guys can dunk on this club. You can see from our Fox racks with Southland technology, all on the outside corner. Perfect pitch right down in that corner.
That's a pitch you got to go the other way, and a single would get the job done. And the count full. That's a break for the Padres because it'll give Hundley a jump start from second, carrying the tie-breaking run.
That's driving the manager for the Cincinnati Reds crazy. Put in this position. Long single might score 2.
Popped up softly on the infield. Easy chance for Phillips, and the inning is over. Padres leave 2 more. It remains tied at 2. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Del Mar, Wednesdays tomorrow, free and easy for Diamond Club members at Del Mar. And by Smurfs 2, in theaters July 31st, tomorrow. Dale Thayer will stay after getting the final out in the 7th inning, and work to Joey Votto, Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce scheduled here in the top of the 8th inning for the Reds. Heavy end of their order. Votto with a couple of walks and scored a run and grounded out. Tied at 2 here, tied at 2 up in LA. The Yankees and Dodgers in the 9th. All the other NL West teams have lost: Arizona, Colorado, and the Giants. Two balls and a strike to Votto.
Well, you can see from our Fox tracks by Southland Technology, Alexi Amarista shooting that left center gap.
And again, Votto works the count, 3-1.
Tells me they're pitching him away. Joey Votto gets the ball where it's pitched.
Well, Thayer doesn't walk Benny, but he's walked the leadoff man here in the 8th inning. He had walked just 7 men in his last 27 outings. Votto for the 3rd time reaches safely on a walk, and here's Brandon Phillips. He walked the last time. Votto and Phillips walked facing Volquez, and then the single by Bruce gave the Reds a short-lived 2-1 lead. It's the 6th free ticket for the Reds tonight. Luke Gregerson.
What a job he did last night. Coming in, keeping them at bay, giving them an opportunity to snatch one by Kristen Orpheus' big home run.
Winning his 5th of the year. That's going to sail out of play. Wednesday afternoon, baseball tomorrow here at Petco Park.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah, I see a lot of youngsters out here tomorrow. We'd guess Eric Stoltz against Homer Bailey. Can't make it. 12 o'clock noon our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. High fly ball. That ball is hit hard and high, but Amarista with the heavy air able to collect it. Tagging Votto, but he does not come forward, and it's a good thing. What a throw by Amarista. A perfect one-hop strike to second. Here's our San Diego fans of the game. The Navy is here. Always great to see the men and women in uniform. And of course on Sunday, Military Day, it'll be the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Coast Guard. We'll salute them all on Sunday, the final game with the Yankees. Padre management always taking care of the military, giving them special consideration on ticket prices.
I love it.
Big swing by Jay Bruce.
Let's go back to that throw and the fundamentals of Alexi Amarista. This isn't his natural position, but he possesses a cannon out there. Joey Votto goes back to try to tag in case you are on the backs of your heels. Alexi Amarista played through that. Strong throw to second.
Bruce is 2 for 3. Foul back toward us. Single to lead off the 2nd inning and came around on infield hits by Cosart and Mesoraco. And then in the 6th, after walks to Votto and Phillips, single to center field to drive in the 2nd run. His 74th RBI. And the man in front of you, Phillips, has 81 RBIs, and you get 74. That's hard to do.
Well, you got some on-base percentage guys ahead of him.
93 on the fastball from Dale Thayer. The count 1-2.
You Talk about the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. What a hitter's dream. Almost feels like you're hitting in Williamsport. I felt like I was a home run hitter there.
Yeah. To all fields, huh?
To all fields.
Of course, even here at Midsummer at Petco Park, the heavy air at night makes the dimensions here all the longer for the hitter.
Oh, good job by Nick. Athletic move with that breaking ball in the dirt.
Volquez started for the Padres, went 6 in the third, gave up only 4 hits, 2 runs. And Matt Latos, 6 solid innings, 2 runs and 6 hits. Now it's up to the bullpen, and from 2 strikes, Thayer goes to 3-2.
It'll be interesting to see if he sets Joey Votto in motion. Dusty Baker over there. Got to create something.
Runner goes. Slap foul. Votto returns to first base. A full count on Jay Bruce. Goes again. Pops him up. Left field. Guzman, long run. Gets there right on the foul line. It's a fair ball out. And Votto back to first base. Laura McKeeman, what do you have for us?
Well, thank you, Dick. I've got an update on Carlos Quentin. He was removed from the game after tweaking his right knee, and he's now day-to-day, so we'll certainly keep you updated on his status health-wise and something to follow as we go along here, guys. Definitely unfortunate for the Padres to lose him, but hopefully it's only a minor situation with that right knee for Carlos Quentin.
Okay, Laura, thank you for that report. Darren Balsley out to talk with Thayer. 2 outs, and Todd Frazier is the batter. What was that meeting about? How the pitch to Frazier?
Yeah, and you gotta make sure you're on the same page here.
Frazier is 0 for 3. Hit the ball hard the first time up. A smash to third. Struck out and fouled out.
It's all about opportunities. Frazier's driven a lot of big runs in for the Reds this year.
Nice power pitching against a power swing.
Lexi Amarista on the right side of second base. See from our Fox tracks by Southland Technology, pitching away.
Another at 94 from Thayer.
There's Alexi. Right center gap, protecting that gap.
Get out your binoculars to find him out there.
This is a no double situation, especially a guy on first. You got to protect those gaps if you're an outfielder.
Goes to the breaking pitch, and the slider fools Frazier. 1-2 now the count.
Take a look at the tilt on this slider. Gets a piece of it. Good pitch by Dale.
Change the eye level.
It's a good point. Unleashes that out of the strike zone. Most of the time that's a purpose pitch. See if he goes back to that breaking ball.
Missed inside, not by much with the fastball. So full count. Votto will be off now. Frazier was a champion at a young age before he turned 13. Remember the Little League team from New Jersey, Toms River?
Oh, yes.
He was a member of that Little League championship team as a kid.
There it is. 1998. Everyone remembers that year around here.
Yeah. 3-2 again. Runner off. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Another good effort by Dale Thayer. Pitched around the leadoff walk. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Alonso will start it for the Padres.
Still a tied ball game here at Petco Park. I'm Megan O'Leary, your social media reporter. And tonight, not only is it Social Media Tuesday, but it's Manager's Night. We asked you earlier in the night, what is your favorite Buddy Black moment? And this tweet comes from CJ France, and he said, when Buddy won the NL Manager of the Year award, becoming only the 3rd pitcher ever to win those awards. All right, guys, Buddy Black, so beloved by the Padres, and thank you so much for all the tweets that you sent in tonight. Hashtag Manager's Night has been a huge success. Your tweets were hilarious, especially with those Manager's Meltdown, so thank you very much for that. It's been another fun Social Media Tuesday, guys.
And thank you, Megan. Great job, as always. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Manny Parra comes in for the Cincinnati Reds, and he has been tough to hit. In fact, he hasn't allowed a run since June 7th. Last 14 appearances, he's retired 32 of 36 hitters.
And with those numbers, Dick, it's 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, split. Used to be fastball, curveball. When he's with Milwaukee Brewers, he's changed to that fastball slider mix. Sits right around 93 miles an hour for his fastball.
Yonder Alonso, a couple of hits off Matt Latos. Takes strike 1.
There's that slider.
Venable, the hitting star for the Padres tonight, with a pair of doubles and a walk. And then Jed Jerko scheduled here in the 8th. It's tied at 2. Another pitch just on the edge.
You'll do a lot of things in the dugout. A lot of time on your hands. Yep. Corey Lupke. Oh, he caught him licking the baseball.
Broken bat foul, and Alonso will go get a new stick. The thing that the Padres and Bud Black likes about Yonder Alonso is he's not intimidated by left-handed pitching.
No, he competes. That's what you want. Sometimes the left on left, you get very simple, and your simple approach works. You take a look at that left center gap, If it's a breaking ball, high breaking ball, you can pull that. It's perfect for Yonder Alonso.
Another foul.
You see that left center gap? Shoot those gaps. So many times you hear he's a gap hitter. That's what they're talking about. Those blue lines. Shoot those gaps.
A little extra on the fastball at 94, missing off the plate outside.
That split.
And the fact that he bounced it, you don't expect him to throw another here.
You know, so many times, Dick, I talked about Yonder Alonso competing in the batter's box against left-handers. Played up with Andre Ethier up in L.A. Left-handers give him fits, and he has a tough time with that. Mentally, he checks out of it at bats. You have to compete.
Left side. And Cozart takes care of the first out. Will Venable steps up. Well, we talk about key decisions. How about Tommy Lasorda giving Kirk Gibson on one leg a chance to swing against Dennis Eckersley? One of the most dramatic walk-off home runs in playoff history.
If you weren't a baseball fan after that, seeing Tommy coming out of the dugout, talking about passion. Tommy Lasorda, what a moment in baseball.
I can remember where I was when I watched that. Venable, a pair of doubles and a walk. So he got another big blow on that bat. His double set up the run in the second inning, moving Alonso to third, where he scored on the ground out by Forsythe. And then he doubled in Jesus Guzman with a tying run in the sixth inning as Houston Street getting ready.
He's talking about those managing moves in the game. Will Venable left on left here, not using Denorfia. I think it would be a situation if people were on base right now. He might use Denorfia in this situation. Will Venable swinging the bat and earns this at bat. We know what Chris Denorfia did last night.
And Denorfia probably has been back in the cage taking a few swings. Has that bat at the ready.
Definitely.
Ground ball right field. He's got another hit. 3 for 3 and a walk for Will Venable tonight. Brings up Jerko. The pitcher spot then moves into the on deck circle, and we could see Chris Denorfia employed then.
Let's take a look at this look from Will Venable. Pitch right down the middle. He earned this at bat, but mechanically looking very comfortable and using his lower half. That straight line right down here. Beautiful swing by Will Venable. He earned that at bat with the two doubles.
That brings Dusty Baker out of the dugout to make a pitching change. Wants a right-hander to pitch to Jed Jerko. So 1 out in the 8th. The Padres and the Reds tied at 2. The hit total of the Reds in this 2-2 tie. 1 out. Venable, a good base runner. 9 steals at first base. Sam LeCure comes in for Cincinnati, and LeCure has been double tough. Last 15 appearances, he's worked 14 innings with 1 earned run.
Yeah, this bullpen has been outstanding. They haven't been winning ball games. Sam LeCure pitches with his fastball away, mostly fastball, curve change, and a slider. 4-pitch mix. Location and movement with his fastball.
Good name for a man who's trying to save his team. Cure.
A big situation for Jed Jerko.
Cure, 29 years of age. Jerko, so due. Wouldn't this be a sweet time? Ball 1. It's the first time he's seen the first pitch ball tonight. He struck out twice and flied weakly to right. LeCure, from the capital city of Missouri, Jefferson City, youngest of 8 children, and a Reds draft pick in the 4th round back in 2005. Venable with a healthy lead. Kristen Orphy indeed is in the on deck circle. Pitcher spot due next. Dodgers have just won 3-2 on a walk-off single by Mark Ellis. Wow, are they hot. 27-5 in the last 27-6 in the last 33 games. As they beat the Yankees tonight. 1-0 to Jerko.
Is that slow breaking ball? Will Venable trying to size up LeCure. Not a bad situation to take a chance. 1 out. You got to get in scoring position.
Here's the time for Jerko to think right field. He's had trouble getting his base hits, and there's a big hole there for him. There he goes, and it's fouled at the plate. He was indeed trying to go to right field. A little hit and run there for Bud Black. And the Dodgers with another win. Now they lead just suddenly. They're 3.5 games in front. It was only a month ago they were in last place behind the Padres, 9.5 out.
Now, so many people were talking about fire Don Mattingly as they were in dead last, struggling, going through injuries. Now they're getting healthy, and they're winning night in and night out.
Getting great pitching. 1-2 now to Jerko. With the win and the Colorado loss, the Rockies are now 7.5 out. Giants lost again tonight. They're now 11 games behind the Dodgers. Commanding lead for Venable. Base hit for Jerko. Maybe that'll get some good things started for the man from West Virginia. And the Padres, with singles from Venable and Jerko, have an opportunity here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And here's last night's hero, Chris Denorfia, coming up.
Well, right after this swing, as he's running down to first base, all kinds of weight came off his shoulders. Jed Jerko's a competitor. He's been frustrated. That was a big knock.
Big hand for Denorfia as he's introduced. against left-handed pitching. Considering he's a part-time player, the 33 RBIs, third best on the team behind Quinton and Alonso.
Well, he's coming into the box with a lot of confidence. One swing does so much.
Check that. Venable has 34. He'd be just behind Venable. Venable leads from second. And a breaking ball. You knew he wasn't going to get a fastball there. Last night he did from Chapman. And he rattled it 420 feet off that second wall in center field. His first ever pinch home run, walk-off home run. 2-1 victory. A single would be just fine here. 2-0. Couple of breaking pitches.
Yeah, so many times you feed off that. There's Chapman that gave up the game winner last night. You hit off that first pitch fastball and you get 2 breaking balls to start it. Now he's in a hitter's position.
One out with Venable at second, Jerko at first.
Wonder what Bud Black told him today before the game.
I don't think he expected it to be against a liqueur, but here it is. There's a fastball right in the heart of the plate.
You can see out there, I know people are at home going, why didn't he swing at that? Well, it's all about movement. 87 miles an hour on that fastball. It starts off the plate and works its way back. Easy to give up on that pitch.
Now the action pitch, 2-1. Venable at second and Jerko at first, ready to kick it in high gear. Another pitch in the middle of the plate.
Now good breaking ball.
2-2.
That's part of Chris Denorfia. Doesn't mind hitting with 2 strikes. It's not the ideal situation. He has a short swing to let that ball travel with 2 strikes.
In the dirt, and he was able to check back. So the count is full on Denorfia. Hundley on deck. All right, you put yourself in the shoes of Denorfia, 3-2. What do you think he might be getting here?
You always got to look on that fastball out over the edge and you react to everything else. Try to use the big part of the field. Anytime you're in an RBI situation, especially with 2 strikes. See that big part of the field right here.
Meanwhile, Lecure wants to throw a strike, doesn't want to load the bases here on 3-2. Doesn't like the feel of the baseball, and Lecure asks for an exchange.
Yeah, that's that free changeup. Getting a new ball, you toss it up in the air. Bob Gibson told me that's a free changeup he used to use. Changing the eye level.
Interesting.
As he said with a wry smile.
Swing and a miss. Perfect pitch for Lecure. Breaking ball at the knees on the outside corner.
Well, he used a lot of diet of breaking balls because Chris Denorfia last night deposits that fastball. That's when you tip your cap. So you made the pitch. Those are the little battles that you have during a game.
The Padres are now 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight. Still another chance. Hundley has walked twice and flied to center. Chase Headley is on deck.
Well, Nick Hundley got to see a lot of those breaking balls to Chris Denorfia, processing that information when you're in on deck circle. And continue to use that big part of the field. You don't need to pull this pitch. Look out over the plate.
Line drive, fair ball. It's into the corner. 1 run scores Venable. Here comes a second run to score. The Padres break the tie. Jerko checks in as well. Nick Hundley with a 2-run double.
I talked about processing information. That breaking ball out over the plate leaks over the middle of the plate, and Nick Hundley does an outstanding job on a mistake. Just inside the line. Drives 2 huge runs in and picks up his teammate Chris Denorfia. Outstanding team offense by the Padres and Nick Hundley.
10th hit of the game for the Padres, and their first with runners in scoring position after 0 for 8. And Jerko's base hit key in this 2-run rally, and now it's Headley up. 2 out double to drive in 2 for Hundley, his 26th and 27th runs batted in, and the smiles aglow again in that Padre dugout. Headley been up once, struck out.
Now credit Glenn Hoffman as well, circling Jed Jerko around those pillows because of that ball down in the corner. Very difficult. With 2 outs, you're going to send him. Glenn Hoffman being very aggressive as a third base coach with Jed Jerko.
1 out single by Venable, followed by Jerko's single after Denorfia struck out as a pinch hitter. Hundley delivers the 2-run double.
A big knock by Jed Jerko. Going through struggles, getting that single, scoring a big run.
Fouled. And the count remains 2 strikes on Headley. Getting in the 9th spot in the order.
That's got to feel good. Talking about competing, both mentally and physically.
Contributing. You know, he knows he's down. He's had chances, and now finally takes part in this key 8th inning 2-run rally.
As Will Venable starting off with a big hit against the left-hander.
Low and away, and 1-2 now to Headley. Looking ahead now to the top of the 9th inning. Houston Street was warming up in the Padre pen. It's the lower third of the order. Cozart, Mesoraco, and the pitcher's spot scheduled for Cincinnati. Ball low and in.
A good take by Chase.
Padres leading for the first time in the game. Fell behind 1-0 in the second, scored a run to tie in the second. Cincinnati scored in the 6th. The Padres came right back with a run in the 6th. Venable's been right in the midst of all 3 scoring innings for San Diego. Swing and a miss, and Headley strikes out for the 2nd time, but Nick Hundley delivers a 2-run double into the left field corner, and San Diego leads it 4-2.
4-2 lead, courtesy of a Nick Hundley 2-run double. And time now to take a little trip back in time to Bud Black's introductory press conference as the Padres manager. This happened in November of 2006.
And when the Padres called, I was ecstatic. It's a great opportunity for me. I'm extremely excited to be here.
Well, Bud Black, certainly plenty of success for the Padres and as the manager. And how about Bud? They're in his first introductory press conference as the Padres manager, gentlemen.
Yeah. You can see the wear and tear of being a manager just in the hair color. He's gone from that black hair to pretty gray. There have been some tough ones, including this year with that string of 14 losses in 15 games. But the ship has been righted. And the Padres come in tonight, winning 7 of their last 10. Denorfia, the hero last night, stays in the game tonight after pinch hitting in left field. If you're keeping score, Street inserted into the 9th spot in the batting order. They'll make that the 3rd spot as we check. Swing and a miss. Cozart. Mesoraco is due next, and then the pitcher's spot. We saw Xavier Paul with a bat down in the dugout for the Reds. 1-1. Houston making his 36th appearance, seeking his 20th save of the year. He's ahead on the count 1-2 to Cozart, who has a single and a walk and a ground out.
All about location for Houston Street after the All-Star break. Seemed to have a different purpose out there. He's a perfectionist on the mound. He relies on location. Good slider on that 1-1 pitch.
Protective swing by Cozart. Two runs, 4 hits for the Reds. 4 runs, 10 hits for San Diego.
Remember, fans, our post-game show after the game. Mike Pomerantz, Andy Ashby. Manager's special.
You're not going to run down there and do double duty tonight?
No, I'll stay up here with you.
All right. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Cozart. A little looper in the center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. So the leadoff man is on. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. Our Carl's Jr. star of the game is Nick Hundley. A couple of walks and the 2-run double. They give the Padres a 4-2 lead. Ripped that one just fair, measured it well. Here's Mesoraco.
We did a nice job with Edison Volquez tonight as well. Execute the game plan.
Infield hit drove in a run for Mesoraco back in the 2nd inning, and he struck out the last 2 times. Two strikes. There's Xavier Paul, former Dodger. He apparently will be Dusty Baker's choice to bat for the pitcher, LeCure.
Yes, and Volquez back on the bench. I love that. These guys are fighting for him.
Fly ball to center. And Marista camped out there. One away. Back to first base goes Cozart.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Pitchers of record now. Dale Thayer would stand to win his first game of the year. And Manny Parra would be the Cincinnati Reds losing pitcher should the Padres hold on. They need 2 more outs. Always liked this left-handed hitter, Paul. He's pesky hitter, makes good contact.
He's got a nice short swing. Perfect for a guy off the bench, but he's susceptible to that off-speed pitch. Mostly the changeup gives him problems.
Tied for the lead in pinch hits this year, Paul. 6 pinch hits and 2 of them home runs. You see the compact nature of that swing.
That's the short swing right there.
Kind of reminds you of a left-handed hitting Logan Forsythe.
Yep. Strong hands. Getting an opportunity here. Dusty Baker likes his bat off the bench. He's getting some spot starts and left. Well, Houston Street needs to locate one of those changeups down and away.
Derek Robinson, the leadoff man, on deck. Struck him out off speed. Good changeup from straight head. Ball way out in front. 2 away.
Well, this is what I mean about location. Out of his hands, it looks like a fastball. Good location. Xavier Paul does not like the changeup. It showed right there.
Down to their final out. Derek Robinson, 0 for 4 tonight. Hit the ball hard in the 5th inning into a double play. A line drive to shortstop turned into a double play. Strike 1. Alonso not holding on the runner now. He'll concede second base. He wants to fill that hole on the right side. So Alonso playing back. Try to shorten that distance between himself and second baseman Jerko. And the left-handed batter up. Runner goes. What was wrong with that one? Defensive indifference, and Cozart into second base. One ball and 1 strike to Derek Robinson. Padres with a 4-2 lead, 2 outs. Top of the 9th. Fly ball off third. A long run for Cabrera and Headley. And it's Headley with a catch in front of the barrier. And the Padres have won again. 4-2 San Diego. Coming from behind in the 8th inning on Nick Hundley's double. 8 wins in the last 11, Mike Pomerantz.
4 in a row, my man, and doing it on manager's night, just the way Buddy Black would have drawn it up when we see in a couple of moments on the post-game show. Nick Hundley getting it done. You'll hear from both managers and the Padres go for the sweep.